in my opinion, I would fire Eberflus, trade Justin Fields, and get Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick.
You heard it. Yeah, okay.
Caleb Williams should pull a Eli Manning and demand that the Chicago Bears do not draft him number 1 overall. After everything that's happened with just Justin Fields, can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, you know what? This is the organization that has my best interest at heart, and they're going to help develop me into the player that I want.
This pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you, because we were hired to break a cycle. The same thing when I was in Kansas City. Coach Reed, all of us were brought there to break a cycle, and we did. And no one talks about those days anymore. It's all about what they are right now. So I really believe we're about to break this cycle and get this city in a really good situation and win a lot of games. So the past is the past. Like, I don't worry about that at all. It's about where we're going.
All I see is excuses made for Justin Fields. There is no Hall. The Hall is Caleb Williams. That's the Hall. And that's just honest.
You're out there. You realize that you have to get points no matter what, because your defense is giving up points every single series. And Caleb, if you come to play USC, everybody on defense, everybody on that coaching staff, makes Caleb Williams the shining beacon. We have to stop this guy. Our defense is geared against the pass to stop this guy. We stopped Caleb Williams, and he still went out and produced.
They're taking this kid right here, and if they don't take this kid, then Ryan Poles should be fired.
I get that. Every error when it comes to this network and the Chicago Bears, they've always been losers because they've never had this that they're about to get. So chase greatness and start understanding that he's going to make everything. You can put any quarterback up there. Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, got it. He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
They basically did him a solid, and he had choices of where he wanted to go. He chose Pittsburgh, but it leaves the Bears with the number 1 pick, and that's going Caleb Williams. This is done. He's a generational player. There's no doubt about it. Think about the 5 categories that you evaluate players: arm talent, the ability to control the game from the pocket, the ability to create. Are they accurate? Can they create with their legs? All of these different categories, he excels at all of them. And he's one of the only ones that does. You can evaluate hundreds, if not thousands of quarterbacks. And generally speaking, the best ones will be great at 4 and really subpar in the 5th. He's excellent at all 5. That's why he's a generational talent. That's why he's going to go number 1 to the Chicago Bears.
I get that. What's up?
Do you realize? Start reading all the stuff coming out about Caleb this morning. Do you realize how blessed we are that he's going to be ours? Get on freaking board. Chase greatness. Stop being ridiculous. Settling. Being mediocre. That kid's a beast. We're blessed. The football gods have finally blessed us. And we got people in town. Ooh, can we trade the pick? Can we get more? You're out of your mind.
Here's the shame.
But I'm getting texts during the show, like, that tell me the Bears are not keeping Justin Fields.
You're going number 1, bro. To let you know. You're going 1. It's already done.
Yeah.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100!
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's going to make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, got it. He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who
introduce back the two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man in Dr. Phil. Break it down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters, but now they're moused up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, straws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. We have 2 fucking games.
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the up there. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby. Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
100. Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Down there. I don't know if that right foot actually touched the ground.
Keep it 100, baby. Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is good, TTNL family? It's your girl Cherie, aka Lady Bear, and of course it's Wednesday night. Y'all are in the right place. We got a good show for y'all tonight. Pose is pissed off, so we're gonna talk about that. And we got Alex Shapiro joining us from NBC Sports Chicago. So we got a lot to talk about today. And so without further ado, I love all. Thanks, Shane. I know it was you. Go ahead and bring him in. We need to keep you away from the drops.
Angelo Joe Marino had me off my game, Cherie. I gotta admit.
Hi, DDP.
What is up? I am fired up tonight. Can't wait.
That's right.
All the fucking facts, y'all.
Fucking facts, y'all.
TTNL, MF.
That's gonna look so dope.
Why?
Right in the center, on the front of a hoodie.
Oh my god.
I
Dope.
I need to upgrade my hoodie, so
I gotta get one of them hoodies.
That's right.
For Jonathan Hood.
Yeah.
So we had that open, Cherie. Lot of stuff to digest.
yes.
Starting with RG3, and it is just, I mean, you have to be on a level of atrocious, wanting attention, and there's a lot of these attention whores out there. And RG3 might be leading the pack, and it's so well said. I don't know if I could be more proud of Ryan Poles, and I've had my moments with Ryan.
I'm not smart.
But Pat McAfee, shout out to him. They do a great job on their show. Understanding just the right question and never being afraid to ask it. And that's really why you get that truth. You could see in that open that we produced, Ryan Poles is pissed off.
Yeah.
He's pissed off. I was so proud of him because you're attaching the past to now. It's like, that's like what I'm dealing with in my life. You know, the past with the youth football, and we'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about that tonight, attaching it to the now. Well, I had nothing to do with that, so don't attach me to that. And that's where Ryan Poles is. Like, I didn't draft Caleb. I didn't draft, Mitch Trubisky. I didn't hire those coaches. I wasn't involved in any of it. You're going to label that. And it's so ignorant. Him and Deion Sanders
Oh my god!
Just on new levels of stupidity.
Carl Williams is out here taking daggers from people. And
Carl Williams.
Deion's out there talking about.
I wouldn't draft Deion's kid
go.
with 28 and a half draft picks. Stay the heck away from that. It's a joke. But the way Ryan Poles handled that, showing his true colors, that it pissed him off.
Did you see the off-air clip of when he was walking off the set?
No, I didn't.
One of the McAfee guys said, "Hey, thanks for what's the GM in Pittsburgh? That was his name, Omar
Khan."
Yeah, he goes, "Thanks for doing deals with Omar." And Ryan Poles just whipped his head around. He's like, yeah, and just kept walking.
Listen, you can hate all you want, but I am going to take a bow for this network that called it 2023 of the spring and said, you got to get better at quarterback. If you don't, you got to move on. And that's what the Chicago Bears did, and the league backed up what the analysis was. Now, all the fanboys can cry in their tissue tears and jump ship, cross those state lines, and go cheer for Pittsburgh, because that's where you belong. If you're holding on to some sort of relationship, it's ridiculous. The reality of here you are at the precipice of something so great. I mean, did you cap some emotion in that? I had to put it in there because you got to chase greatness. You got to chase greatness, and the Chicago Bears are doing that. I know RG3 tries to get attention, and this is the pattern. Dan Orlovsky, same shit. Jaden Daniels is about 4 country miles away from Caleb Williams if we're watching tape. That's the truth. I don't know anybody I respect that would say anything different that watched the tape. And our own network, Shane, my father was a big Jaden Daniels fan. When he's like, oh my God, it's not even close. After watching Caleb and then watching Jaden, it's like night and day. And that's where it is. And exactly, Dustin, Caleb is the Hall. We've said that. I think Shane was the first one to ever say that. The Hall is Caleb. And here we are at the precipice of this. And then your GM is out there.
That's where this came from.
Exactly. And me and Cap and Shane hashtag the Chase Greatness campaign. And the rest is history here. Like, I'm not all these micro podcasts, these drama queens out there trying to take their shots. Like, we never moved, and we won't. And we will continue to analyze the draft the same way we've always done each and every year. And Michelle gets it. That's exactly what Shane called
6'4", 210.
6'4", 210.
Yeah.
There was that Spider-Man meme. That's what it was. Thank you, Bear Down H-Town. From H-Town. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to speak the truth. And I've never watched Caleb Williams and thought to myself, wow, that he reminds me of Johnny Manziel. Never. That never even popped in my head. I've never watched Caleb and thought of any other names other than Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the 3 guys that look like him. I know Shane has explained this 1,000 times, but it needs to be explained again for some of you new people. The reality of the truth is when you're watching tape, you see body movement in a similar pattern that you can say, oh, it correlates with this person's style.
Yeah, it's all about style. It's
It is.
stylistically, you're like, oh wow, that launch point, that arm angle, that looked like Patrick Mahomes. Oh, that release, that's very similar to Aaron Rodgers. And if you are anti Caleb Williams, you're going to take that to the other ends of the earth to say, oh, you think he's going to win 3 Super Bowls in 7 years? Joshua Gibson, your comments, by the way. Nobody said that. There's a difference between style and career arc, and people need to understand that.
The other thing is, your GM set needs an applause, because if you have been here like Lawrence Chrisman has been, you would have watched us in Bullets and a Scottish Bear and all these guys that have been TTNL family forever. They don't jump ship because we have a disagreement like some of these pussies. Like, you got to have some goddamn backbone. I don't debate with ignorance, like lies. I don't debate with that, but I will debate if you have an opinion and we can go back and forth, but we don't jump ship. But since last year, I have said you're going to have to do your due diligence with pick 1. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and that quarterback class, based on what I saw of Justin Fields. At that time, I had raised all the concerns, never hit it. That was the truth. So last year, Shane says, leading up to the draft, well, Phil, they trade down, they get picks. You're going to get a number 1 from one of these teams. And what can you do with 2 1s? You could possibly go up and get your guy, Caleb Williams. He's been my guy. The tape never lies. Not only did your GM do that, but the Bears hit the Mega Millions. They hit the Mega Millions and they don't have to trade anything. They're just sitting there about to get a franchise quarterback, and they don't trade Justin Fields. And they did try to trade him to numerous teams. The market was dry because they're watching the same tape. Brad Biggs. That's exactly his report. It corresponded with what I and Shane and the tape was saying. And despite all these guys trying to back, I never said anything about Caleb. No, I'm number 1 fan now. Watch it. Don't be a blind. Don't put your blinders onto it. They're all trying backpedal. I'm backpedaling. Dion, am I as fast as you? Backpedaling? My God. It's insanity that you allow someone to fuck out of here. You got to have a backbone again. I don't care where you're coaching, what you're playing, what school. If you lack integrity, if you turn a blind eye to someone bullying on somebody, if you turn a cheek and allow that person to get hurt or to be talked about or lied about, then you are just the problem with the person that's an asshole. So when you see someone lying and you see someone taking daggers, like Shane said, like fucking Caleb's dad. Imagine if Caleb's dad was saying what Deion Sanders is saying. Like, oh my God.
Phil, that would be the nonstop talk everywhere. And
I have
everybody would come back out of the woodwork. See, we told you. We told you, not only does he have a pink phone, his dad's an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here?
And then I always have said, you never punish the kid for the sins of the father. You can't do that. And still we have people out there. I have a post on my Facebook page. It's still getting laughters, likes, and hearts. The laughters are all Justin Fields fucking you should see it. And it's from a GM that says Caleb Williams, if he was in the draft with Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence, is being taken over both of them. And people, you're laughing. You're Bears fans. You're about to get an amazing football player, and you guys are laughing. Oh my God. It's sad. It's sad. I don't have any time. I see the true bullies out there. Shane and I get painted, Cherie, as bullies.
Shane is.
I'm not a bully. I just speak the truth, and sometimes people don't like to hear it.
I don't think Shane's a bully. I think Shane is the guy that backs you up when the bully is lying.
Okay, so correction. Shane will call you on your bullshit, but both of y'all do that.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
But
no one does it better than him.
That's why we get painted in that brush stroke of, all you guys do is bag on Chicago Bears content creators. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
I only bag on.
You don't poke until we're poked.
If you poke me and talk shit about me, then of course I'm gonna don't turn a blind eye to these motherfuckers running their mouths talking about TTNL. This 4-letter podcast out there, they're gonna be wrong. I can't wait till they see Justin's the Hall and we're gonna get a Hall. What happened? That's going in the Hall of Fame of shitty.
Yeah.
Because you were fucking wrong again, jackass. Wrong. Because your GM actually sees football, understands that you got to improve. The same dudes that were talking shit about Caleb Williams are now changing their tunes.
But that's the thing, Phil. And I talked about this last night when I was on with Steven Nagishi, and then we talked about it on All Access. And especially to our patrons who are paying a monthly fee for our in-depth breakdowns and in the way that we do that. And can you imagine if we went out there and said, hey, listen, guys, we understand you're paying your $7 a month to be a patron, but we're going to break this down, but we don't want to talk about the negatives of Justin Fields because he's got the Bears colors on. We're only going to talk negative about him and point it out when he's got the colors of another team. That's essentially what you're saying. Or
That's
you can
what all these dudes do, man.
It's an embarrassment, but it is.
And the course, there's 2 courses. And we're calling it out tonight because we want to get ahead of it. Because they're all going to try to jump in, jump around, get up, they're all going to try to, just sneak in like fucking Homer Simpson from the bushes. Oh yeah, I'm jumping too. No, I'm calling you out on your bullshit. I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. You were fucking clowning Caleb Williams, saying he's a diva, Hollywood, talking shit, saying he sucks even, that he's not. Justin Fields is miles below Caleb Williams in regards to quarterback throwing ability. It's just the truth. Tape says that. Anybody that is a patron, there's been 187, I counted, DMs or emails saying thank you. I was a huge Justin Fields guy. Then I watched the tape and I skipped the Heisman year. I just showed you Oklahoma.
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
Year. We did it on purpose.
Oh, you guys got to show the year that he was fantastic.
Oh, no.
That's why when Phil and I sat down and we wanted to do this, we wanted to go through the entire narrative of the Notre Dame game was abysmal and horrible, and Greg Gabriel said he never really recovered from it. We went through every single play with our patrons, every single one of them for the entire game.
Showed the whole game.
Everybody where that was all bullshit. Complete bullshit. Was there some bad plays in there? Absolutely. It happens.
Yes.
But what did he not recover from it?
Well,
here's the
3 weeks later.
Here's the last 9 games. And we'll talk about this with Alex when he comes on. He's a USC guy, so he knows all about this. The last 9 games Caleb Williams played in for USC, here's the point totals that their defense gave up. 28, 41, 41, 48, 34, 49, 52, 36, and 38. That's a 40.7 average per game. Oh, he plays too much hero ball. Well, no shit, because if he didn't, they would have never had a chance in any of the games.
Exactly. But football, is stats only. No.
Yeah.
Let's go to the tape. And then we watched Washington game, who happened to go to the national championship,
And
where
lose.
Caleb Williams throws for 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, and runs for another touchdown in a game that really could have went to USC if the referees didn't screw over 2 calls down the stretch, because they would have taken the lead. But I digress. That is the same emotional where he left everything on the field to beat that football team, where he cries in the arms of his mom. Well, I'll tell you this. Give me a guy that loves the game of football and matters to him. The emotion of the game and what you did out there was a disappointment. You hate to lose. Give me those guys than the guy that shrugs his shoulders, gets in the shower, is going out to the club later tonight, and where are we eating those fucking crab legs later, guys? Don't give me that guy. Because I'll tell you what that guy gets you. 6 wins. 6. Seen it many times in Chicago. Winners win. You're about to get a winner. Speaking of winners, this guy's enjoying. That's why I threw that crab legs out there. He's in the green room enjoying the crab legs.
Yeah.
He's cutting some filet. I'm excited about him enjoying the spread we sent over to him in that green room.
Golly, what the hell is going on?
Kenneth's like, I didn't get any of that shit.
Kenny,
when I was out
Kenny
there.
got none of that. But you guys know him from NBC Sports Chicago. We're going to bring him out our way here at TTNL. We had to update this guy's intro. Let's bring him out. Alex Shapiro, NBC Sports Chicago.
This guy covers the Bears.
The Bears.
For NBC Sports Chicago.
And then,
You may
like Josh
also
said, it's the
know
Bears.
him
It's them
from the
spending
Under
time,
Center
right? You know the Bears
podcast
want to
with TTNL Hall of Famer Kenneth Davis.
The Chicago Bears select.
He's also an alum of USC. So he might know a thing or two about the new QB1 in Chicago. Bears fans, TTNL fans, rise up out your seats and give it up for Alex Shapiro.
There he is.
Saw dudes. I like the updated intro. You got me wearing suits and looking nice.
Yeah.
Dapper. The wife is happy.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm doing wonderful. Pleasure to join you guys as always. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Oh, yeah, we're excited to have you, man. The USC, the Trojan alum.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Caleb Williams before anybody in Chicago knew Caleb Williams' name. I was like, this guy's pretty good. This guy might win a Heisman.
Yeah, I remember last year after the trade went down, you were talking about it, and everybody, and I was part of that crew, and Phil and I talked about it, and I'm like, we're never going to get the number 1 pick to get Caleb, but here we are, man. It's nuts. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. We survived the quarterback civil war in social media and in Chicago. And in your time covering this team, have you seen anything like it, Alex? The way that like everything unfolded and just, it got toxic. It got bonkers.
Nah. So I started covering the team as a video editor around 2015, 2016. So I remember the Mitch Trubisky hype.
Yeah.
That was nothing like this.
No.
My first year, like covering the team was when I was writing stuff was the Nick Foles Trubisky season. That was nothing like this.
Definitely not.
And then Fields was a unifying moment,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Fields was, oh my God, is this the guy? Finally, the savior, the quarterback this city has never had. It was this almost like crowning moment. And obviously he did a lot of really exciting things. So I understand why people are way into Justin Fields. I mean, when he is at the top of his game, when he's spectacular, he is spectacular. He makes plays no other player in football can make. So I understand why people are still supporting Justin Fields. Like, he's a good guy. Wish him nothing but the success. But what transpired after that, when it became clear that Justin Fields was no longer going to be part of this team's future, and as you guys said, the Civil War, this type of schism, this type of division, no, this is unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, regardless of Bears football, I'm talking about like any team, sport, anything I've really been aware of. It's kind of crazy. I imagine that this might have been what it was like when Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan were headed towards a split right after the 85 Super Bowl. I don't know. I wasn't around. But I wonder if this was like that. But at least in my memory, I can't recall anything like this.
Yeah, it's
I think
crazy.
you add the social media aspect to it.
Obviously,
that's a great guess right there. Buddy Ryan leaving to become the Philadelphia Eagles head coach, and that breakup with the defense and Ditka and finger pointing, that probably would have been close to this. So that's a really good call by you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shane, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say it's, Phil's in Connecticut and I'm in New York, and it's people that we talk to that maybe if they're not even huge football fans, but know enough. And I've heard Cap talk about this too. It's like, they're like, what is the debate? It's really that time. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's, you can't believe it. How, it's a huge debate. I mean, every hour of every day. I mean, there's, every outlet is talking about this, and we've maintained here for a long, long time. I mean, I'd like to say that we were kind of flatlined throughout all of this, and we've maintained that it's Caleb Williams, and it's not close. And that doesn't mean that Justin Fields is bad. It just means that he's not the right guy for us because Caleb Williams is available to us.
Yeah. And it's a timeline. You have to take the timeline and everything, the holistic view of it. It just didn't work out. The stars weren't aligned. The Bears, I think losing 1 month of development for Fields hurt him a lot. I think he was playing really, really well. And then he kind of petered off at the end of the year. And when you look at the holistic situation, which is you're trying to come out of a rebuild, you have the chance to give yourself some extra runway by adding a rookie quarterback, but not just any rookie quarterback, a really good rookie quarterback.
Right.
And, if the Bears are ready to ride with Fields, you're not only picking up his 5th-year option in May, you are preparing to pay him a lot of money down the road. And I just don't know that the Bears could look at where Fields was at and say, yeah, we're going to pay you $50 million a year. Because if you're, passing on CJ Stroud, if you're passing on Caleb Williams and Drake May and Jaden Daniels, if I'm Justin Fields' agent, I'm saying you passed up all these dudes for my guy. So yeah, you're going to pay big bucks because you've indicated to me how much you value him. And,
David Millett is a power broker anyway.
Right.
He's not settling.
So it's more like as much as it is a Justin Fields thing or a Caleb Williams thing, it's also a timing situation where the Bears were in the rebuild. It's unfortunate that Justin Fields, had his development hampered by having to switch offensive coordinators in year 2, by having Darnell Mooney and nobody else as his wide receivers his second season, by having, less than great offensive line play for 2 of his 3 seasons in Chicago. So, it's unfortunate, but this is the business portion of it where it's not always fair, right? Did Justin Fields maybe get the most fair shake? I think they put him in a position to win and succeed last year. I think when you had DJ Moore, I think when you had Darnell Wright, when you have Cole Kmet playing pretty good football, they had a good run game. They had pieces in place. So I'm not going to say they never gave him the opportunity to win. I think they gave him the opportunity to win last year. But it obviously wasn't the ideal situation, but it's rarely an ideal situation.
Well,
what the Bears are about to give to
there.
Caleb Williams, that's the weird, rare situation that you're taking a prospect and saying, look at all we got for you, go cook.
Well, there's several layers to this because I'm watching the tape of Fields and it's football. You have to be able to throw on time with mechanics. There's a level of excuses that a lot of people give in year that's not this past year, the year before that, where he was just not doing things structurally that you want to see, even if it's just a little thing like a check down or deliver the ball to a wide open guy running a post across the middle. He just didn't see it. So then you're like, okay, this next year, to your point, you got DJ Moore, you got 1,000-yard receiver and Darnell Mooney coming back, Cole Kmet, you got Darnell Wright. They're building the line. Tevin Jenkins is got. You're thinking you're going to see the step, and the rumor is, oh, he was improving. The tape said different to me. It was no, same tap, bring the ball here, delay, miss open guy, throw, and have these moments that overshadow that he breaks away. He run. It's Jaden Daniels running. Oh, everything else is forgotten because he ran. Now that's a part of it, but you're never going to win like that. So as a GM and a coach, you have to put it in that perspective with what you said. Now behind the glass is that upcoming contract. So all those things, there's zero chance the Bears were keeping Justin Fields. That's just, I've been told that. They were trading him irregardless if Caleb was in this draft. That's the truth. I've heard it several sources. So is Shane. Yeah. So here we are finding a stride, building this around a guy that I think you should speak on, because here's a kid in Caleb Williams that has gotten so much unfair criticism. I had a father call me tonight. He's one of my player's dads. And he's like, where did it start? All I hear from teammates is he's the greatest thing. He's amazing teammate. He's this. So where did this start? You're from that school. Where did this Caleb Williams is a diva? Is it just jealousy?
I think it happens with a lot of prospects who spend a lot of time being that presumptive number 1 pick to a degree, it happened to Justin Fields as the presumptive like 1B in 2021. When guys spend so long being the dude and being so long being told like this is the guy, after a while, people are going to start to poke holes, right? People are going to start to look for the cracks. And I think they start looking for pretty much everything. Like, remember when we were told Justin Fields has epilepsy, so therefore, look out. I mean, ridiculous stuff like that, knowing full well that Justin Fields keeps his epilepsy very well under control. He does all of these things. It's a complete non-issue. But that stuff comes out. So I think it is a product of that. For 2 years now, Caleb Williams has been the top quarterback. So there's a little bit of that. I want to say like prospect fatigue almost. And I think that is where that comes from.
Very good. Yeah, it's the whole paralysis by analysis, and let's be honest, there's things out there, and this is an entirely different world. And I mean, I have some stories about Syracuse University. Back in the day, it's not NIL, but we know things that go on, and it's just absolute fact. But now it's out and it's open and it's the wild, wild west. And what are they saying? $10 million, and people look at that and the GQ photo spread and the painting of the fingernails, and society is just going to pick stuff like that apart.
Now the pink phone.
Yeah, that became a thing the other night. Exactly. I'm like,
are you kidding me?
Right.
What?
You have to have very low.
Somebody tweeted me last night, like, how do you feel about the Bears quarterback having a pink phone? I'm like, I couldn't give two shits what color his phone is. It's crazy.
Mine's blue. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Mine's black. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
We went into the store and had to replace my son's phone at one point, and they were out of everything. And the only iPhone that they had left was like the lavender one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you think? He's like, yeah, I just want a phone. I'll get a case to go over it, because he didn't love the color. But I mean, people are dictating what this kid is over the color of his phone. It's not about football. You're just a moron. You're an asshole human being for letting that dictate anything. It's craziness to me.
Thank you, Corn Planter, $5. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure we get these super chats. There's a bunch of them in there. We're going to get to all your super chats. We got our guy from NBC Sports Chicago, Alex Shapiro, on the show with us tonight. Former USC alum as well, and big believer in Caleb Williams with me and Shane as well. I just look at the quarterback of Shane reading off when you were in the green room, the hill he had to climb with the defense not holding up their end of the bargain in the ultimate team sport, and how that gets lost. Talk about that when you're obviously staying up watching this guy perform on those Saturday nights.
On a personal level, pretty infuriating, to be honest, because you've got Caleb Williams and Brendan Rice and Taj Washington, who are pretty much capable of scoring on every possession, but to win, they pretty much had to score on every single possession to win. I heard you guys talking about the hero ball. I think you nailed it. I mean, they knew that. I mean, like, it's not like the Trojans. There were two outcomes for the USC defense last year. It was interception or it was give up a touchdown. And more often than not, it was give up a touchdown. So every time you're getting back on the field, you're down another 7 points. It's like almost Sisyphean of like, you just can't get ahead. And then when the defense finally makes a stop, you're like, okay, the defense made a stop. Now we can get ahead and win this football game. Maybe it was kind of crazy, to be honest. And beyond that, they had offensive line issues.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, people like to complain again about Chicago quarterbacks having to run for their life. Caleb Williams was running for his life to the point where it's like 1st and 10 very often turned into 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 20 or something. And it just felt like Caleb Williams always had to have a magic trick. So I think that's where that hero ball came from. When things were better in 2022, and, you know, in the instances where things worked on time, I actually think Caleb Williams is an excellent quarterback working in the rhythm and offense. He doesn't really get that credit. People just say, oh, he's so creative. They draw the comparisons to Patrick Mahomes because of the off schedule stuff. That's true. He can do those things, but I think when things are working on time and everything's going according to plan, he can make throws in rhythm, anticipatory throws as well. And you don't hear about that stuff as much. Just because it's not like the highlight tape stuff. The highlight tape stuff is him breaking tackles, getting out of the pocket, and throwing a absolute rope on the move with 2 feet in the air or whatever. You know, the crazy stuff is the YouTube stuff. But he does the little things well, in my opinion.
Well, we did an intensive breakdown of that, and you might have heard us talking about it. We skipped over the Heisman year because we wanted to alleviate that narrative. We knew there was going to be this blowback because of the field's fanatics and what they were bringing to the table. Wanted to just skip over that so we could say, okay, let's identify the real truth here. Now we broke down, I put together 7 games or 6 games, and we left out Washington and Notre Dame because we were going to just isolate those games. So I cut all the runs out of it for, you know, the running back. And just going through that tape, it's like my father said it best. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? This looks like a highlight film, and it's him just meshing in the pocket, resetting and establishing his feet, and delivering a dime in structure in a pocket. The highlights are what ESPN is doing, and everyone's staying up at night, and Chicago fans are only seeing that. But we really, and I saw Chrisman talk about, he admitting he was one of those people that after watching our tape breakdown, this is the truth here. This is not this what Alex is saying. Him throwing from structure in the pocket on rhythm, his footwork, his ability to manipulate a pocket and understand body positioning, throwing from all angles. But the best things that I've seen is his ability to action fake and quick release. I mean, it is Dan Marino like this release. It's sick. And I think when you have a Keenan Allen, who's a precision route runner, this situation with Caleb Williams to be successful is just going to be raised to another level because you put him in the slot. I mean, he's giving your rookie quarterback these just layups because he could do the Texas route. He could do the in and out, the whipped route. He's going to separate. And there's honestly, I've said this, Alex, many times, put my name to it. He's the best quarterback I've ever scouted. And that's over Andrew Luck.
Hey, now.
Over Peyton Manning.
Whoa.
That is the truth. I mean, this kid can do things that
you're not alone in that. I mean, Rick Spielman put himself out there and said
Chris Sims backed me up on it too. I've had several scouts in the league, like you saying that made us so proud. We're seeing the same thing. I was just laughing at this situation because I'm like, these fans, like Shane was saying, because we're here in Connecticut, like, do they not know what gift you've been giving? And here we are on the precipice of it. And we're just calling. I mean, I don't know if you saw McAfee today. The McAfee
I did not see
show.
McAfee today.
Well, they were just talking about. It might have been yesterday when they talked to Poles.
It was yesterday.
And then they talked to Bean, the GM of the Buffalo Bills, and they asked him, Is the NFL involved in not? They don't want you to say who you're picking with number one. Is that? And Bean kind of alluded, like, absolutely, they want it kept a secret. They might even run the whole 15 fucking minutes off.
They said they've already heard from them about it, but he goes, we all know where this is headed at one. But he goes, yeah, the NFL has let everybody know that, yeah, we want the suspense and the drama, and yeah, it's, I don't know.
Well, when you hear what the Bears say coming out of the pro day, I mean, it just becomes immensely clear. Okay, I believe them when they say, okay, we've all seen the tape. The tape says he's the pick, but we want to get to know the player. We want to make sure that the character is good. We want to get to know the person before we say 100% this is the guy, right? So we'll go to USC. We're going to have some dinners. We're going to bring him to Hallis Hall. We're going to do the 30 visits, this, that, and the other thing. And we're going to make sure we do a thorough character evaluation in addition to the tape evaluation. And then they did that character evaluation. They met him, and they're just raving about him.
They can't stop raving about him.
They can't stop raving about him. So when you hear a special guy, went to dinner, never looked at his phone once. That's so rare for a 22-year-old. You could see the way he interacts with his teammates, incredible leadership. His teammates love him. I mean, just going on and on and on and just gushing about him, the person. That's when it's like, okay, now the evaluation's done. The tape had been done for a while. You needed to meet him. And that's it. Like, so yeah, like in my opinion, in pretty much everybody's opinion, the evaluation is done. He's the guy. But I do think they did need to tick that box of get to know Caleb Williams, the person. And again, it's a shame because these character assassination things happen. We're a team now, and people just assuming, oh, that's a slight of Caleb Williams. I said it at the time, like, you don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah,
we have no idea what that's referring to. Maybe he's saying we're a team now because the defense made 2 stops in that game. Maybe he's saying we're a team now because I have literally no idea. It could be something that they had team bonding before the ball.
It could have been the entire team is standing there, and every member of the media is surrounded around Caleb Williams.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sure. Hey, look what we're doing now as a team. Everybody's looking at us now. And but you saw the story that came out about
this is amazing. This
story.
And
about the backup quarterback. And I mean, but this is what gets me. And I said, we talked about
say the story because some people have not they don't believe it to be true.
Yeah.
So,
well, with Caleb,
are you talking about? I'm not sure I know what
Daniel Jeremiah came out and with Albert Breer.
Who's the backup?
Sports Illustrated, Monday Morning Quarterback, Albert Breer.
Yeah, who's the backup quarterback in USC that played in the bowl?
Miller
game?
Moss.
Yeah, Miller Moss.
Real good.
Miller Moss.
Yeah. So everybody, NIL and the transfer portal and all of that, everybody knew that Caleb was going pro, and everybody was lining up to come to USC to be the next guy.
Right.
And they said that Caleb Williams went to Moss and talked to him about that and said, hey, I'm going to sit out so you can go out there and ball out and make this your team. And he did, and he went out there and balled out, and all of the guys that wanted to come to USC, they all bounced. They're like, well, yeah,
that dude's pretty good too.
They're going to stay with that dude. But
but Caleb Williams, bad guy.
Bad guy, man.
That story comes out, and it's just like, oh, okay, next. Oh,
next thing.
Did you see his phone, though? Did you see his phone?
Pink phone, bad guy.
I don't care. If he doesn't bring us to the Super Bowl this year, he stinks. It's a bust.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up.
I've never seen crazy like this, and I had an ex-wife, man. So this is big time beyond anything I've ever seen. It is. It's like you're picking out the next book. It's like it's unreal. And unfortunately, we have to stand up for this guy. Like, I feel obligated. It's like part of me. I've never been the guy to turn my head from somebody being bullied. I'm not the guy that's pulling out his phone, filming it. World star. Let's go. No, I'm going to get involved. And my wife gets upset, or I pray that nothing ever happens to me. But this is now personal to me because that story of him being selfless, on top of, I've talked to one of his teammates that played with him in the Heisman year. And he was like, this dude is the dude. Like, he has the equipment manager's back. He's leaving money for the kid to go on his first date. They asked some girl out. He was this manager or something. He was so nervous. He left the kid an envelope of cash to take this girl out on the first date. Like, that kind of thoughtfulness, like no stone unturned for this kid's personality. I was talking to Jim Larison tonight, and Jim's like, Phil, if he was Hollywood and all this stuff, wouldn't he go to his pro day with a fresh haircut, edged up, looking pretty? This guy is football 100%. And that's where I am. And his former teammates, I talked to two of his coach. I talked to another coach in the Pac-12, which is no longer or whatever. But he was like, I've coached for 45 years. I've coached for 45 years. I've never seen a quarterback as talented as this freaking kid. He is the one-man band. They got no defense. We got to stop Caleb Williams. And somehow he's pulling everyone to victory. That's not a prima donna. That's a leader. And I go, thank you, coach. That's all I need to hear. That's an opponent. I mean, the Bears are getting a real one. And that's not to say Justin wasn't. I wish the best for Justin, and I just call it the way I see it. And if Caleb is struggling, I'm going to be critical of Caleb. That's how I am. This is football. Shane was talking about it, and I know you aren't like this too. And I think you cover the Chicago Bears for a major outlet. So you have a responsibility. You can give some advice. Me and Shane call out the fraudulent narratives, as well as somebody that can't be critical of their football team. And that's your job. Even if you love the kid, he's an amazing person, but he's playing like shit on Sunday. What is Alex Shapiro going to write?
Right. My job is exactly what your job is. To keep it 100, man. My job is to report what I see, to report what I hear, and to lay it out there. Right. I mean, you try to be emotionless when you make your analysis. Again, like, it's very don't shoot the messenger. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm hearing. These are my thoughts. And it's really bare bones. Like that's just what it is. And you try and, as I said, keep it 100, right? Hashtag branding. Just try and keep it 100 with what we're seeing, what we're hearing.
I agree with you. And you look at one other thing about Caleb Williams. Do you have a sense of this team he has around him? They were the ones that were kind of speaking out, not in his words, and he's unknowing of this. And this is how the owning of a football percentage owner of a team, then people run with that stuff. They could be in Montana, South Carolina, Texas, New Orleans, wherever, and they start believing that, oh, this kid wants to own the Chicago Bears. We don't want that kind of person. So was that like a mishap with the team surrounding him, or is that just what you were talking about before, when you have this talent that's evident and clear, and they just keep rising to this peak of where they're going, people are going to try to, their haters are going to hate. Is that what it is?
I don't know exactly where that came from. I have heard that there is shreds of truth to that, like internally within that camp, they did have those discussions, like this is the guy who made them. He's like changing the NIL world, right? He is going to be a superstar, is already a superstar. So I think it's like, hey, how can we think outside the box? Obviously rookie contracts are just slotted money. So you're not doing anything there, but looking ahead towards the future, if Caleb Williams, if you turn out to be the player we all believe you can be, what are the ways in which we can think outside the box in terms of your value to a franchise and what you deserve? I don't know where those conversations led. I don't believe it led to them seriously believing. And again, this is my own like kind of speculation. I don't believe that they led to him saying seriously, like, okay, I'm going to push for equity on my second contract. I don't think that's the case, but I do believe, he's a unique guy, unique prospect. And within that camp, there probably was some unique thinking. So were those ideas bandied about? Yeah, probably. Did those conversations go anywhere? Is it going to lead to any kind of demand? That's where I'm more doubtful. And again, it's like a rookie contract, there's only so much you can do. It's slotted money. Right. So, these things that might have a shred of truth to them in terms of like, yeah, we've had like really surface level conversations about like what are, outside the box things we can do. That's probably where these things spin out of control. But I don't know that it necessarily means anything like super real or that it went anywhere significant.
Especially in Hollywood and LA. I mean, Jonathan Hood talked about it. Like USC is the big time. It's like the NFL coverage. Like the Bears coverage is USC out there.
Yes.
So this could have been at a nightclub and they're talking and spitballing like, yo, you are so good. You should ask for
really sounded like they just wanted to know what potential is there any workarounds, and they wanted to, they're just trying to cover all of their bases. You know what I mean?
For the stars, man. I mean,
it can happen when they're interviewing agents.
Sure,
right?
Exactly.
Right. I don't believe he has an agent, right? I think
he already not, but
he's using his own camp. So it can happen when.
Yeah, according to Lawrence Holmes, he has a former very powerful agent within his group that is not, he's advising them. And it's somebody, Lawrence Holmes talked about it on his podcast, and that he said it's somebody that he was told Caleb is in very, very good hands with, if that's who's advising him.
Okay.
So they have, I don't know what the name is, but I'm on his House of L podcast. He talked about it, and
so there you go.
And so that very well could be, like you just said,
he
Alex.
could have been interviewing other agents, and one of them got pissed because he didn't choose them. This guy's talking about possibly. We all know how this shit works when there's a guy that's ascending, and it usually, for some reason, bro, happens to the good guys. I don't know why, but I've always seen like the good guys get tarnished with hate, with like made up shit. And I've seen that happen many a time. It's like the shitty guy gets nothing. It's like, oh, no. He murdered someone. He hit somebody. No, this shit. Then it comes out later that he did, but it's okay. He's reformed. This, you can't make this whole thing, this civil war, this knockdown of a player, a 22-year-old, or gonna be 22, and trying to destroy. And then this kid's coming into your city wanting to be loved and wanting to chase greatness and be great. And to deter that is against everything. It just, for a team that has always dropped the ball, now you got an opportunity to catch the ball, the biggest ball of all.
Well, I don't know how you feel about this, Alex, and I know you're from a different perspective, but one of the reasons that Phil and I wanted Jim Harbaugh here so much is because he comes to the situation with that power where he can he's going to push the envelope and make the Bears go where they're not comfortable to go. And Caleb Williams is going to do the same thing. And I think that is exactly what this franchise needs. It's not going to be status quo. It's going to force them to look at things from a completely different perspective. It's all, it's Big Dick Nick. You know what I mean? We're just going to roll with it. It's Mike Glennon. All of these guys, they're just going to stay status quo. And you got a guy here, or coming in anyway, and Caleb Williams, that I think it's making the Bears look at things from a whole different way, because this kid is coming in with money in his pocket. It's why it's so different, and I think it's healthy for the Bears, especially this franchise.
I think it's already kind of happening with Kevin Warren.
Yeah.
And Ryan Poles to a degree. I mean, these are guys who have changed the culture. Kevin Warren is starting to put his fingerprints on this organization, This hard charge to the lakefront with the stadium. I mean, that's Kevin Warren written all over it.
Are you shocked? I mean,
am I shocked?
Are you shocked that
they're going to the lakefront instead of Arlington?
Yes and no. For what it's worth, I still do not believe. It's just not. The lakefront is not a done deal. It's not like this is a done deal. The Bears are staying in Chicago. They still got hoops to go through. They got to make nice with Friends of the Park, who obviously successfully sued to not have the George Lucas Museum put on the lakefront. So they got to assuage the Friends of the Park's fears. They got to figure out public funding. You got guys like Pat Quinn suggesting that, hey, maybe this should be a referendum on a ballot. So we'll see. Are Chicago voters going to get the opportunity to vote on this, or Illinois voters, rather, right? Because the city probably wants it, but is JB Pritzker keen on this?
Right.
So again, these are things that can be worked out. And I think Kevin Warren is probably the man for that job. Like, I believe he's really good at what he does. I think he's probably an excellent relationship builder, an excellent consensus builder, and he's probably the right man to get it done. But it's not like it's going to be easy, right? Look at the property tax situation in Arlington Heights. That hasn't been easy,
right? It's just the spacing and the parking, and you're hearing about this, Bears Disney World, just everything, and it just seems so I know it, like you said, there's no shovels in the dirt yet, but man, to me it just seems a little bit short-sighted when you had these massive expectations with Arlington Heights. And I mean,
if I'm a business owner, the opportunity to own my land and to build out Bears World, like you said,
Bears World,
that's a hell of an opportunity. So they got to, again, like figure out how are we going to make up that difference in revenue stream from owning that stadium. And I mean, everything that goes with it, right? I mean, the Bears right now have to work with the city to get the grass put in at Soldier Field.
Right.
You don't got to worry about that when it's your stadium. So again, can they figure it out? Alone. Of course they can figure all that stuff out. But I mean, there are certainly obstacles that they're going to need to clear before we are 100% a go. The Bears are staying in Chicago.
And where they're talking about taking down Soldier Field now, is that the latest?
I am
destroying it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Quite honestly,
I haven't heard that, but I mean,
that was the latest.
It lost its landmark status. I mean, it was a landmark until they took it away, right? They went through all that trouble to leave the colonnades up, and then lost its landmark status anyways.
Right.
So maybe you say, hey, what if we take the spaceship out and leave the colonnades? Is it a landmark again? Like I don't know. We'll see.
Crazy.
I
know they were talking about the south lot starting there. What would they do? Blow up Soldier Field and put the parking over there now? It's like it's
public transit, right? I mean, public transit remains an issue. It ain't easy to get to Soldier Field.
Oh my God. Telling me.
Yeah, and you're gonna build a
out of there.
build a new place in the city, and the tailgating issue. I don't know. It seems to me it's got to be the ultimate. Hey, we're laser focused. To me, it just seems way too much of a power play to say Arlington Heights, wake the fuck up, so we can get
We'll
these
see,
shovels
though.
in the ground.
When you say we are ready to contribute $2 billion, I mean, that's a real statement that has some weight to it. So it's certainly I'm not ignoring it. I'm not ignoring it. What's that?
Who's the Karen on the board holding this up with the school? Is it the school money?
Yeah, the school districts. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in these rooms. I'm not in these negotiations. I don't know the tenor and nature of them. But obviously, they are still pretty far apart in terms of the value of the land. And the school districts, understandably want to get as much tax money as they can so that their schools are really well funded for their students. I get that. And when the Bears shell out nearly $200 million for this thing, and I know it's just a vacant lot and they've already started tearing stuff down and it's not going to be commercially viable for years. I mean, obviously that land holds value. So is the land actually worth the $200 million it was originally assessed because that's what they paid for it? Like, there's an argument to be said, yes, but there's an argument to be said, like, no, come on. They're not going to be making any money off of this piece of land for a long time. So we'll see. We'll see if Arlington Heights and the Bears can figure it out. But right now, my leanings, I still think the path of least resistance and the path to the Bears doing what's best for their business is in Arlington Heights. Now, again, I'm not in these negotiations. I don't know what Kevin Warren's got cooking up with the city, if they've got something to work out to make up that difference in revenue that they would be getting from owning their land. I don't know. But from my outside perspective, I'm just like, you own the land. It's 326 acres. The tax is like, you figure it out, but like, that's an opportunity out there.
I mean, they'd be printing money. They'd literally be printing money with all of that at their disposal. You're right, but let's talk about.
I wanted to go to his other.
Oh, go ahead.
He said Kevin Warren, now Ryan Poles.
Who's sitting courtside right now, by the way.
Is
he at the Bulls game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, my dad's at the Bulls game. My parents are at the Bulls game. Shout out to my mom and dad.
They're sitting right next to Ryan Poles right now.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to text him as soon as I get off.
Your dad just asked him who he's going to draft at number 9. I can see it.
Amazing.
Ryan Poles, you're covering him all the time. So for me, seeing him these last 2 months, it's not just the weight loss. He's looking stealth, but the demeanor, there's an air of confidence around this guy that I still remember, this nervousness, even in last year in presser like this. Am I reading this right? Are you seeing this as well? There's this level of confidence with the guy.
To me, I always think he's been a confident guy. But I think there's an era of, oh my God, I can't believe everything we did over the past 2 years just essentially worked perfectly. Like it probably could not have worked better in their wildest dreams, right? When they're drawing it up, they're probably thinking like, okay, maybe we get a top 5 pick from the Panthers. Maybe we got a good player with the first rounder that, that we take in Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright looks great. DJ Moore is every bit the wide receiver 1. that first round pick turned into the number 1 overall pick. Again, like, I don't think the Bears, when they make that move, think they're getting the number 1 overall pick.
I agree.
The Panthers certainly don't, right? The Panthers don't think they're giving up the number 1 overall pick. You were able to trade for Montez Sweat and extend him. And the move, I mean, takes that defense to the next level. And yeah, there have been stumbles along the way. I mean, he's not betting 1,000. No GM does. The Chase Claypool trade, disaster. Lucas Patrick didn't work out. The Velus Jones
Wasn't a prick.
picks,
Wasn't a prick.
Yeah. There are misses on his draft card. Absolutely. But I mean, I criticized him for the Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards deals. I'm thinking, why are you getting rid of Roquan Smith if you're just going to pay these guys? Well, now I see. Because you got 2 guys for the price of Roquan Smith, and both of them are playing lights out. Again, I'm going to go back to the Jalen Johnson situation. You're able to not only challenge him and say, this is what we need you to do. He matches those expectations. He rises to that challenge and delivers. And you're able to get him onto a contract that doesn't reset the cornerback market. This is an excellent player in his prime. So all of these things are lining up. Now you're about to add Caleb Williams. If I was Ryan Poles, I would also be feeling really good about the situation moving forward, because I mean, when you rebuild a roster, and that's exactly what they did. When he first came in, he tore it to the studs, right? He comes in, he trades Khalil Mack, and it's like, all right, this guy means business. We knew he was going to rebuild this roster, but he means business. And then he just continues to tear the thing down to the studs. It ain't easy to build it back up. Like, we have seen teams go through rebuilds and then it just doesn't work out. You know, right here in the city of Chicago, we've got the Chicago White Sox, who they went through this arduous rebuild. Didn't happen. It just didn't come together. And now, I mean, it still might not come together, right? The Bears might not win a Super Bowl out of this, but the pieces are lining up. The puzzle is coming together. You see it happening, and it's coming together with his vision. It's his plan. He's executed it really, really well. So yeah, what I sense what you're sensing, which is like, wow, this is happening. We're on the precipice of something, as you said. And I think that comes through.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I keep on pointing back to the what I was most impressed by, and I got to bring up Chase Claypool, as weird as that sounds. Bears regimes of the past, Alex, wouldn't have moved off of him that quick. They would have said, we flipped a 2 for this guy. We have to figure this out. We can't just let him go. You know, he ended up getting moved for a 6th to Miami, correct?
Yeah, I think a 6th.
And that's the thing. These guys aren't going to bat 1,000. If you're batting 250, you're an elite level GM when you're adding in free agency and everything. But you brought up Roquan Smith, and I said, I don't think this gets talked about enough. And I know Roquan's a fabulous player, but you moved off of him. And not only did you get Tremaine Edmonds and Jesus, I'm blanking on
TJ Edwards.
TJ Edwards. You also got Jervon Dexter with that draft pick, and you got a 5th rounder who's Noah Sewell, who is another linebacker with some upside. And I don't care what anybody says. I wouldn't trade that package back for Roquan with all of those guys involved in the finances and all of that. And it's just, you know, it is what it is. And yeah, he swung and missed on Chase Claypool, and that was a move for Justin Fields at the time. Yep. And we understood it, and Chase Claypool proved who and what he is. And I give him a big amount of credit to be like, I fucked up, got to get him out of here. And he shipped him. And I think he should be praised for that, because we've seen this so many times in Chicago.
Speak it, please.
going back to Jerry Angelo,
Keep
and
this guy around.
Phil Emery, and
Kevin White, a couple more
Yeah.
shots.
Ryan. Yeah, we got to figure that. We invested all this time and money and draft compensation, so it's nuts. But let's change the focus a little bit to number 9, because I mean this is the least talked about top 10 draft pick of all time, clearly. And Phil and I talked a little bit on the phone.
We have a super chat, so let me
go ahead.
use that super chat. Where did it go? There it is.
Where are you at, super chat?
Justin Kirk.
Ooh.
$2 wanted, since you brought up number 9, because we're not going to skip any of your super chats. I see a bunch of them in there. We're going to get to them, but obviously the conversation, but this fits right here. Justin, thank you. Do you think we're trading number 9 pick? Is that a part of this process with the least talked about first round pick?
I think that's an excellent question, Justin Kirk. And I think that is one that the Bears are asking themselves right now.
Alex's dad is trying to find it out right now.
Amazing. So what the Bears are going to do right now is they are going to split off into groups, and they are going to identify, these are our top wide receivers, these are our top offensive tackles, these are our top pass rushers. This is like our top level guys. And then they're going to debate which of these guys helps us the most now, helps us the most later, so that they're going to then sort through, okay, we like the wide receiver, and then we like the edge rusher, and then we like the tackle, or we like the tackle, and then we like the edge rusher, then the wide receiver. They're going to sort all that out. And in my opinion, I don't know how that debate is going to turn out, right? That debate is yet to happen. But I would imagine if a Malik Neighbors, a Roma Dunze somehow falls to the Bears at 9, or they fall in love with Joe Alt and they say Joe Alt is the difference maker that we need for our offensive line to protect Caleb Williams, and that guy is there, then I think they use the pick. And they add that difference maker, because top 10 players, I mean, there's something to be said for adding draft picks and filling more holes and getting more bites at the apple. But there's also something to be said about adding 2 top 10 picks.
Blue chippers.
Yeah, those are big time players. And if you can add 2 of those, now you are like radically altering your franchise. You're getting potentially 2 cornerstone players. So if one of those cornerstone dudes is there, again, I think they make the pick. But if by the time they're on the clock, that pool is dried up and they go, okay, now we're on to, if those were our S tier players, now we're down to our A tier players. Then you're looking at how many A tier players do you have left? So if you're sitting at 9 and you have 5 A tier players, and again, I am just pulling these numbers out of my ass. This is totally arbitrary. And there's 5 players left, then you are saying, I'm only moving back 5 spots because I'm not missing out on the opportunity to miss out on one of those A tier guys. So then that's going to dictate, I believe, how far they're comfortable moving back. If they have 9 guys in that group, then you might see them feeling comfortable moving that many spaces back. But I think it could go up to, let's see how this board falls before we make that decision to move off.
You explained it beautifully. That's why I didn't interrupt you one time.
Appreciate you, DDP.
But I want to ask you this. So let's play the game. So did they say this? This is what they've shared, that they're going to break up and have debates?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I think off
let's
the top of my head, I'm pretty sure the groups that they're really laser focused on are offensive tackle, wide receiver, pass rusher.
Yeah. That's what TTNL has identified as well. This is where we go. Now, the holy trinity of football is quarterback, pass rusher, left tackle. That's how, as a coach, that's how I want to build my football team. The quarterback is the number 1. That's the Holy Spirit, right? In this whole process. And then you can debate pass rusher or left tackle. We could have a debate which is where you're going. I would say pass rushers are harder to find. Like tackles, I could get them and I could find them that are going to be certain, but pass rushers are obviously Khalil Mack, Richard Dent. He was found in the 8th round, whatever. But you get what I'm talking about. There's an elite level of game changing. You saw it with Montez Sweat, like you said. So he changed the whole energy of a defense, the confidence, the whole makeup of it. Now you got to get someone opposite him. So that would be my B. One. And then receiver, obviously, I feel like this draft is so deep in receivers that if you want to hit both based on what you just said, it's 5 down. We get one of our guys. Now I'm supplying myself a pick in the 2nd round to get a receiver that we've identified. That would be my move here. Is it pass rusher or tackle? I don't know. Well, the latest is what? 4 quarterbacks might go. JJ McCarthy going 2 now to Washington.
The big one is the first 6 picks will all be quarterbacks and wide receivers.
And wide receivers. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's do it.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
No.
So Caleb, who you got 2? Who
let me throw. I just went
you did
through
a mock.
I wanted to present the worst possible scenario for number 9, just to make it a talking point for you guys.
I'll be the coach. I'm the coach.
Let me.
You're the GM.
Let me throw this up here.
I love it.
Here we go. We're about to go on the clock. We've already drafted Caleb Williams. Let me get my tissues
on the cap.
out.
It's got the sweet state of Illinois on it. It's a cool cap.
It's amazing.
Here we go.
All right. So
all right. Neighbors and Adunze are gone.
So this is how it went. The Bears took Caleb Williams, number 1, Jaden Daniels, 2, Drake May, 3. The Minnesota Vikings traded up to 4, took JJ McCarthy. The Chargers surprised some people and stayed at 5, and they took Joe Alt, which there's a lot of talk about them going wide receiver. I don't think Jim Harbaugh.
Did you hear Jim Harbaugh talking about the offensive line?
You're damn right. That's my point. That's why I took Joe Alt there. The Giants take Marvin Harrison at number 6. Tennessee wanted Joe Alt, but they go Malik Neighbors, and Atlanta gives Kirk Cousins yet another weapon at number 8. So the Bears are now on the clock. Alex Shapiro.
Throw your super chat in. Who are you taking if you're GM
and you
Alex Shapiro?
So this is the probably the trade back scenario.
Yep. So
if this was a month ago, I'm taking a look at Brock Bowers, but we got Gerald Everett in town.
Yeah, exactly.
That probably takes.
So you have 3 interested teams.
Okay.
Interested in coming up. New Orleans at 14, Cincinnati at 18, and Philly at 22. And I hate Philly, so we're just gonna tell them to go fuck themselves.
The Bears
right now.
love Philly, though. The Bears love Philly, and they wheel and deal.
Buffalo and Philly get these players.
What can we get from the Saints? Are we getting 14 and 45? Is that in the realm of possibility?
Phenomenal.
I'm bad at this.
It would have to be. It would have to be.
Oh yeah. No, you would 100%.
We're only taking
you're moving
that.
down. You're moving down, and I mean, I can make anything happen on here. It's for me to.
Who do the Bengals have at 18? Can we get more from the Bengals?
Yep, you can get more from the Bengals, and then Philly is at 22. But so, just in this scenario, what are you?
While we're looking at the available players,
let's just say, and this doesn't mean we have to.
Gary Franklin wants Turner.
Dallas Turner.
$10.
So all your pass rushers are there.
He's one of our scouts. He wants Turner in the room.
All of the offensive linemen are still there, minus Joe Alt. So I mean, if you go back to 14 and recoup, what'd you say it was 45, their second rounder?
Yeah. What can I get from the Bengals? Because if they can give me a little bit more, I might not mind moving 9 spots back if all the pass rushers are there. Because Dallas Turner's available, Leatu Latu's available, Jared Verse is available.
So there's a great.
We're talking 3 techs, like a 3 tech might be entering the chat. Byron Murphy, Johnny Newton. These guys are also pass rushers, even though they're not coming off the edge. Now we're denting the pocket from the middle. We got to replace Justin Jones. So it's even worse. It's 18 and 49. 18-49. I don't want none of that.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't have anything top heavy in the second.
Yep. And then, I mean, Philly.
You would have to get a first next year from them.
Philly's got
You're going that far
50 and
back.
53.
So I'm seeing if the New Orleans Saints will give me 14-45. But again, I'm not good at the trade chart. I don't know the point values of these things. I don't know if this is like in the realm.
It's got a 50% chance of going through.
You got a 50% chance, but they're the ones wanting to come up.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
And they took it.
Bam.
There you go. They've accepted the trade, and Muck Olu has 34-inch arms. So I don't know what short arms you're referring to.
So yeah, under this scenario where this gets kind of wonky, is I had to control all of the teams to make this.
Oh, to make it go.
To make it go, you know what I mean? Because I just
keep
want
to keep going. Shane.
So let me see.
They're going to take Brock Bowers here, right?
I think they got. Listen, I don't think they're moving up.
Take by defensive end.
No, listen. The word is
they like Bo Nix.
They like Bo Nix. Derek Carr, you are now officially a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they traded up for Bo Nix, bro?
Well, it's a quarterback.
It just happened. I don't have to imagine. It just happened before my eyes.
Happening. It's happening.
We're live.
The Saints have traded up. They've taken Bo Nix.
So I think you would see the Jets go with a tackle between Fuaga and Fatanu or Fashanu.
Yep.
I mean, pick your. I'm just going to take Fashanu off the board to piss Phil off.
You're such a dick.
All right, so Arizona. So this,
Fashanu
you can go
way better than
you can go wide receiver here. I think they're probably going pass rusher myself. Would you guys agree with that? With Arizona?
Sure.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way they're passing on it.
So this is a bad day to be a Philatoshan fan.
Come on.
Jared Verse goes off the clock right here.
Jared Verse comes off of 4.
I have him ranked. I
Dallas
have.
Turner?
Did you do a Scooby Doo there?
I'm not gonna lie. I had Jared Verse kind of circled as this is the guy we're gonna come back to at 14. I didn't think Jared Verse was coming off the board that early.
Jared Verse is the deal, man. I love this dude. We'll be breaking him down
fast and strong. Oh, we lost Shane.
What happened to Shane? But
we lost Shane.
But those of you will be breaking down all 3 pass rushers this Saturday on TTNL Patron. We will be breaking down all of the passers: Dallas Turner, Latu, and Jared Verse. You're going to want to sign up, become a patron. Shane's daughter must have unplugged his modem.
Unplugged the internet.
He's going to be so pissed. He's going to be so pissed. You're not Shane. Do we have another 2? Oh, we're going to use this one then. There we go.
I can be Shane if you need me to be.
No, you are Alex Shapiro, the GM of the Bears. Our pick is coming up. Shane is on the trying to get back on, and Manuel $4.99. I want to make sure I can get Turner versus Latu, Murphy, or Olu. So I'll trade down, but not past 14. That's what your GM just did, Manny.
You nailed it, Manny.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Although I think it might be a little tilted if Jared Verse
Shane cheated he's going against my picks. You knew I would have taken Olu or Verse. Anyway,
so you're Olu over Joe Alt.
I am.
Okay.
Emerson, his daughter, breaking news. Breaking news. Where's the breaking news drop?
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network. Breaking news.
Yes, Shane is pissed. His daughter did unplug his computer.
Oh, no.
And he's waiting for that to pop back up. And while we take 1 minute, while we wait for Shane, I want to bring this to the world's attention. The TTNL. Well, he's coming back.
Oh,
he's coming back. So I'll wait.
Don't have kids, man.
All right, we're back.
Time 2 weeks. My daughter came in to for whatever reason, she's out of bed and she looked at me. And when I see her going out through, she looks over at the bright red light.
Did it on purpose.
Yeah. She's at 2 years old. And she's like, oh,
She's like her mother then.
Rascal.
Fuck it. I'm just going to press this and reset daddy's Wi-Fi while he's live on her. So
you made it.
honey.
If you haven't hit the subscribe button, because Shane is doing the numbers, and there's like 43% of you that watch every week that haven't subscribed yet. We are pushing. Let's go. I don't know what that noise was. It must have been in Chicago.
I think that was an ambulance outside
I
my home.
Cap again for the riots in Chicago.
No, I think just somebody who needs medical attention.
Here, you have to bring we're almost there, Shane. At the
I know. Well, unfortunately, when she
we have to go back.
Yeah,
all right. So while we're rebooting, I'm going to take this 1 or 2 minutes as a PSA. Tell the world. I've already talked to the patrons. I've taken over as the head coach, as people knew last year in our town, of this youth football program. Our youth football program is a nonprofit organization. It's been around since 1963, and they had the name Venom. And attached to that name was this negative connotation in the town, that Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams energy around the town towards the name Venom. So we wanted to rebrand, and with the rebranding comes a cost. So I'm asking TTNL family to reach out. Anything helps here to our nonprofit football team to help us purchase new uniforms and equipment. Every dollar counts. Our patrons, Alex, have already raised close to $4,300 towards our goal. Yes, it's been amazing. It's been awesome. It's give.thetapeneverlies.com. If you're listening on the on the podcast, give.thetapeneverlies.com. You're going to hit donate and then general, and you could put $5, $10. A cost of a helmet is about $385 to $290 at the cheapest if it's used and refurbished. So you could tell the call, and we got to get new uniforms, jerseys. This stuff would mean a lot to me and this town. The president of the league, Kim, was in tears as we moved towards rebranding. She didn't think we would be able to do this, and we're almost where we need to go. So anything helps. These kids, again, we're on the other side of town, so quote unquote the bad side or the poor side or whatever negligent nastiness it has been there.
Yeah, address that part when you.
It's going to be general, and then you just put your information in there. Thanks, Sam. I'm going to shout out all the people that did it, and I talk about it in there. We have $4,405 right now from fans all over the place, all over the world. A man from Scotland donated $250 from across the seas, like just to help us out, and Scottish Bear and all these other people, Alex H. I'm going to shout you guys out, but truly, I said to the lady, we thought the program was going to shut down. I was like, listen, I'm going to take it on my show and my podcast and reach out to these amazing fans. TTNL, we always talk about family, and family it is. I'm going to bring it to you. So anything you could do, $20, you do $20, whatever, all of it. And every kid, we are going to send a message of thanks to you for what it is you're doing. I know we're over an hour with Alex, but this is great conversation, and I was hoping I'd give you enough time to get us back, but will we ever get back?
Yeah, well, I actually had to pull I don't know.
He actually reinvented the internet.
Yeah.
He did. I didn't know if he could like make that trade again, and
It would be impossible to get them all the same, right? After the trade.
So I just ran another one, and it's not that far off. It wasn't the doomsday scenario like I presented, but so this is the way that it worked out, and this is we're only controlling Chicago here. So Drake May went 2, Jaden Daniels 3, Malik Neighbors went ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison went to the Chargers. Roma Dunze to the Giants. Fuaga jumps all the way up and goes ahead of Joe Alt at 7, and Joe Alt goes to the Atlanta Falcons at 8. So,
all right, so it's the same deal where the big 3 wide receivers and Joe Alt are off the board, and 4 quarterbacks have gone. 3 quarterbacks.
3 quarterbacks have gone. So and I have 8 trade offers. So Minnesota,
our trades have gone.
Minnesota,
Minnesota didn't go, Shane.
JJ.
McCarthy?
Yeah.
They're
So
going for
all the quarterback teams, Minnesota, Denver, and Vegas are all calling at 11, 12, and 13. Cincinnati's calling again. The Rams, Pittsburgh, maybe they'll trade up for a quarterback. Wouldn't that set the world on fire?
Yeah, wow.
Dallas and Baltimore.
Raiders, they're right around 12, 13, right?
Yep. So pick 11, 12, and 13 are all.
Well, what do the Broncos got for me at 12? Because I'm going to ignore the Vikings.
They
76,
drop all the way down to 76. Yep.
13.
The Raiders are 13 and 44.
Let's see if I can get 13 and 44 for
Going to Vegas.
Nueve.
Rolling.
It's a
34?
34%.
All right. Do I have to send a 5th rounder next year? Let's send a 5th rounder next year. Does that sweeten the deal?
40%.
Let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice. Let's roll the dice with Vegas.
And they
all
right.
What do you want?
Listen, you need a little 5th round next year. I can give you a little 5th rounder next year. No problem.
So they came up and it worked out.
Watching my son do your job.
They took JJ McCarthy at number 9, and now the Jets are on the clock. So JC Latham.
Wow.
Tarnation.
Yep.
Wow.
And Minnesota's pissed, and they take Terrion Arnold. Oh man, Sam Darnold.
Funk. All right, so we're on the clock
here.
Yep. So Brock Bowers goes to Denver, and so what position?
So now I'm taking the best defensive player available to me. I am looking at edge rusher. Jared Verse is there. What's his face? Dallas Turner is there.
Yep.
Latu is there.
Yep.
Byron Murphy is there. Johnny Newton. These are all excellent choices. I might trade back again.
He's looking to trade again.
Well,
is that possible? Is that in the rules?
It is.
Who's interested? Who's calling?
Miami, Arizona, and Denver. So Denver all the way down at 76. So we're just going to tell them. Yeah.
Miami too far back.
And Arizona,
where's Arizona
at 27?
By the time I get to Arizona,
they're even farther back.
No. If we're talking about moving a few spots, I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to lose out on all of these guys.
Right. You still have some blue chippers in there.
We got blue chippers in here. For me, I'm going to ride with DDP. Let's bring in Jared Verse.
Yes. This guy's making the coach happy.
So Alex fucks up our pick here and goes with John. Kidding.
Well, I'm curious. What's everybody else's pick?
Well,
I imagine the chat has thoughts. I imagine you have thoughts.
Totally. So everything. Listen, if medicals weren't a part of the issue, Phil and I would both have Latu as the top edge rusher.
Medicals are a part of it.
Out of it. Yeah, and they are a part of it.
This dude's medicals are okay for the Bears organization. This guy is Khalil Mack but taller. So the physicality, the freaking power that he's able to generate. And as Shane, he's got feet like a typewriter.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw him against UCLA USC. It was like a battle between him and Caleb. It's so fun to watch that game, watching these two go after each other. And the medical, though, scares you. The neck, especially the neck.
Here's what I love about Latu as well. Consistently productive.
Yeah.
Consistently beating his guy. It's not like, and we saw this at times with Khalil Mack, where he'll go away for a month and then have the month of his life. We've seen that a bit with Jared Verse as well, where he's for whatever reason, he's not producing. He's not winning. And then bam, he'll go on a 3-game stretch where it's lights out. I'm curious. I haven't done like so much work on Jared Verse to know why that's happening, right? I'm just looking at the production. So I don't have a good explanation, but I'd want an explanation for, hey, why is it a little boom or bust? But Latu, I mean, that's a guy who all he did for, I mean, not just last year, 2 seasons, just produce consistently.
So beyond that, Phil would have.
I would go
Turner,
Verse, yes,
and I would
Verse
have Turner above Verse. Now Turner, if you want to
attack power,
let
me talk Verse. Why I think Verse, and then you talk Turner.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse to me has the length and the point of attack power. He's got the motor. He has more than one tool in his pass rushing arsenal, and you could see he works out in the fucking weight room. He's explosive like that. I also think he plays the run really well. So this guy to me is going to be a perfect point man outside of Montez Sweat on the opposite side. And that's why I think he has that first explosive step with combined power. And that's going to give you the best 1-2 punch. Whereas you could speak on Turner now. Why?
Well, and listen, and not a lot of people agree with me on this. To me, when you're talking about a 24-year-old rookie versus a guy that literally just turned 21, that's a pretty big gap, pretty big window that you can work with. Dallas Turner did not start off the year where he needed to be. And as the season went on, he started to figure things out. And he's just like you said, Phil, he does not have the power of a Jared Verse. If everything breaks down, that's where Verse would win, because he can just resort to his power, and watching him overpower offensive tackles is actually a lot of fun to watch. Dallas Turner just brings that explosive element that I like. And I just think that there's a huge ceiling there. And he just turned 21. Like, I don't know. It's like 21.1. So like a month ago. And I just think that the upside there, but again, his weight has fluctuated. So you got to figure out where he's going to be. And I think there's a lot of Will Anderson there. And some people think that he's going to be more of a 3-4 guy. And those same people had that same concern about Will Anderson last year.
Not me.
No, exactly.
No.
That was my question. That was my question for you guys, because I know you dig into this. That's something that I've talked a lot about with my colleague Josh Schrock. Is Dallas Turner an outside linebacker, or is he a defensive end?
I think he can play both.
I know he's done that defensive end stuff, but he's also done that outside linebacker stuff. He kind of does both. So you guys think he can be a defensive end in this system?
I do. Yeah, in a Flus system. I don't know, Phil.
I think his rookie year he would be that fastball pitcher that comes in and third downs, whereas Verse is starting. Like, that's why.
Yeah, he's more of a complete defensive end. 100%.
Everybody, okay, we got to block Verse.
But to me, as he should be, he's going to be a 24-year-old rookie,
right?
So
you're winning. You're trying to win now. It's not like 24 is old. This kid.
No, I understand that, but
the point of it's the first step in point of attack power. If Montez is doubled, and now Verse wins, that's where Dallas and this would be the discussion in the debate room. And Willie Pete, thank you, $1.99. Byron, he wants Byron Murphy and Brian Thomas Jr. But my thinking is Verse has counters and can play the run. That big boy strength on the opposite side.
So let me ask you this.
Hey, GM, as the coach, I want Verse.
So let me ask Alex this, because this is
Byron Murphy.
This is the game that we like to play here. I like to get Phil riled up a little bit because I usually I tend to bring my things from the GM mentality, and Phil is more of the coach. So the way that this draft is set up, offensive tackle and pass rusher, offensive tackles to me fall off a much steeper cliff than pass rushers do. And let's not forget that we just picked up 44. So is there a world where taking Fashanu here and maybe targeting a Braswell, another Alabama pass rusher at 44, whereas you wouldn't be finding the quality offensive tackle at 44 that a Fashanu is? Is that something that you guys are interested, or that you're interested in, Alex?
I'm considering it. However, I'm fearful that what happened to the Bears last year happens again, where I wonder if the Bears were hoping to grab one of those pass rushers on day 2 last year. And then what happened? There was that big run, and they're kind of left like, whoa, what are we doing here? We're not getting that pass rusher.
Talk about it, Alex.
Yeah. So that's a little bit in the back of my mind, but I do think that there are going to be guys in that range. I'm going to throw another guy out there. You want to talk about defending the run? How about Adisa Isaac, Olufashanu's teammate?
I'm higher on Isaac. I'm higher.
Everybody talks about Chop Robinson.
Yeah,
you're right. Everybody talks about Chop Robinson. Adisa Isaac.
Yep.
I don't know exactly like where he's slotted, where people think he's going to go, but I would imagine he is that.
I love guy.
Early second round type of guy. And that's just off the top of my head.
I think the defensive end class drops off too.
Oh, it does.
I'm with you. If I was to rank them,
I think I can get you a better pass rusher at 44 is what I'm saying.
And an
offensive tackle. Get you an offensive tackle at 44. Yeah.
I'm saying,
and Caleb Williams high school buddies. If you want an offensive tackle, that'd be a pretty cool story to read in NBC Sports Chicago. If somebody wanted.
Remember when we wrote that story about Tevin Jenkins and Justin Fields about how they were going to be best buddies?
Yeah,
left tackle and quarterback for a decade.
Yeah,
I'm still.
They were actually. These guys are actual high school teammates. Did you know that?
Fashanu and Caleb Williams.
He was his offensive tackle in high school.
You know, I learned something today on this podcast. Thank you, guys. I did not know that.
Yes. What a crazy, can you imagine?
We love the
understanding. Kind of crazy.
All right, so we have
bringing high school teammates together.
40 seconds left on the clock, unless we want to Minnesota this and let somebody else
clock
go ahead
expire.
Of us. So what is the pick going to be, Mr. Shapiro?
I mean, I still say Jared Verse.
Okay,
there you go.
So, bam, Jared Verse is a Bear.
That one was for Josh.
The very next pick.
Schrock is a big Jared Verse guy also.
Is he? I didn't even know that. I just wanted to say his name. I want to get him on the show with us.
Absolutely. He's a great guy.
He seems like you guys are awesome. I'm not blowing smoke. The crew, I was telling Shane,
Phil,
I listened to
available 44, Phil.
Not podcasts. Oh my motherfucking God.
Are you guys big Lad McConkey guys?
Yeah.
I am.
Chance and Ellie's available at 44.
I'm running to the podium right now and taking Lad McConkey.
So there, Adisa Isaac was available. Who else is in this range?
Braswell.
Jonah Ellis. I actually am super high on Jonah Ellis. He's another medical guy, but another dude who all he does is win and sack the quarterback.
So here was my point. If we're looking back, this is what you're looking at for offensive tackles at 44.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good point.
But I'm looking wide receiver right now.
Yep.
You cannot, I would be flipping out draft night if Lad McConkey is there.
Well,
Lad
I'm going to do
McConkey
something
is going to fucking blow everyone up. Anyway,
that I guess is going to make you mad. Now it's going to be my turn to tilt
you're
a
the
little
GM.
bit.
Listen,
I like Ricky Pearsall.
I like Ricky too, but
like Ricky
not over
Pearsall.
Lad. Not over Lad.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't done a ton of work on Lad McConkey just because I don't think there's probably a world in which the Bears land him. Maybe I need to start doing more work on Lad McConkey. But, I kind of look in buckets of guys and where I think guys can slate in and what guys are maybe more realistic than others.
I think there's a legit shot he goes at the end of round 1.
Right, which is why I'm not doing a ton of homework on. So tell me about Lad McConkey. Sell me on Lad McConkey. Talk me out of Ricky Pearsall.
Here's Lad McConkey. Okay. And I think a lot of people don't talk about this, but the ability to start, stop, and separate and have a fifth gear is, this isn't Tyler Scott. This is a guy that gravitates, elevates, and aggressively attacks the football when it's in the air. This guy could take a short slant and go to the fucking house. We're talking about Christian McCaffrey type speed and twitchiness. We're talking about that kind of, and he's on another level in quickness. I'm telling you, it's like, it's going to make a huge impact. Now you add him outside. Think about this, if you will. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen in the slot, and Lad McConkey outside running off that safety. Now you have Cole Kmet and Keenan working the middle, and this motherfucker's dealing. Like, where's that safety going? He's got to cover Lad. Well, Keenan's running a fucking flag wide open. When you get this kind of impactful speed, I'm just telling you.
And that is what the Bears need, right? DJ Moore is not a speed guy.
I take Lad McConkey.
Not a speed guy.
Lad McConkey over Brian Thomas Jr. Put that in your book.
Whoa.
So McConkey ran a 4.39 with a 36-inch vert and a 124-inch broad jump. That is pretty good. That is pro day.
What was his vert? What was his
pretty
vert?
good.
What's that? 36-inch.
36. I'm telling you, Lad is a fucking polished route runner too.
So how many picks do we have left? 44.
So we have 44, 75, and
122.
122.
We're at 44. We ain't getting any of these guys at 75.
No.
So you have to make a big decision here.
This is a big decision. Do we double down at edge rusher? Do I get another 3-tech Braden Fiske? Is it Fiske or Fisk? I actually don't know.
Fisk.
Yeah. I would have no problem.
Do we double down on Florida State?
Yeah.
This guy is another
Florida State D line with our Florida guy.
This is Jonah Ellis is another dude who's in play. Because I have names in the back of my mind at wide receiver around 75, around 122. How about a little USC love in for our guy Caleb Williams, a guy Taj Washington? You want to talk about a speedster? You want to talk about a deep threat? You want to talk about?
He can't be with Lad.
He can't be with Lad. Exactly. It's like, so do we go another defensive line player here, and we're getting Taj Washington later, and Taj Washington is going to be an unbelievable deep ball playmaker for us. And he's going to be our guy with Caleb Williams. They're BFFs. Maybe Brendan Rice falls to us at 75. So are we really stockpiling on the defensive line? It's an interesting question.
This is the tough question for you. I like the kid from Yale who's sitting there at offensive tackle.
I don't know the kid from Yale at offensive tackle.
Kieran Amagaje or Gaji.
Is Roger Rosengarten available?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's there.
Yep. He is. He's down a little bit.
There he is.
Oh, did I go down?
No, he didn't.
Maybe he did get to.
Maybe he.
Oh, he did. He went right there. I was looking at it and thought he was available, but he was right there above us. Yeah.
So there you have it. Okay, so he's not available.
Yeah.
Link Fisher.
Can I just be like wild and crazy? And this is not a recommendation. This is
Your-
not a
it's your
recommendation
draft.
of what the Bears. So this is my draft. I'm going wild and crazy.
Go ahead.
I just kind of want to see what happens. Let's
because he has trade offers too.
Oh, let's see.
He has trade offers.
So the Rams at 52, Tampa at 57, Carolina at 65. We could fuck them over again. Arizona at 66, Denver at 76, and the Vegas at 77 are all interested in teams and coming up.
52. Okay. Do I have 8 guys? Can I see who's available?
Carrie Franklin is saying he agrees with Alex as the GM right now.
Oh, thanks, Carrie.
For $10. You want
So what you just want to see? What do you want to look at?
Who's
Alex?
available? I want to see if I got 8 guys.
What do you want? I can sort it by position and put them all
Yeah,
up
let's
there.
look wide receiver. Let's look edge. Let's look interior and tackle. Oh, nice. You can put them all up there.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Oh,
did you say offensive tackle? Also,
Put them all up there.
Sure. Put them all
All right.
up there.
So the best
We got
value is
McConkey
Ladd.
1, Braswell 2, Fisk 3, Roman Wilson 4, Pearsall 5, Adisa Isaac 6. I don't know anything about Jermaine Burton. Jonah Ellis I like. Ruka Rororo I also like. Marshawn Nealand I also like.
Can you imagine the
trading the
name
pick.
Ororo in Chicago? I mean, we
Or Rororo. You know what? I'm not trading the pick.
He's staying. He sees something he likes.
sticking. Who's it gonna be?
He's running up to the clock. He's sending Tony Medlin.
Give me. I can't believe I'm doing this. It almost feels wrong.
I feel like he's doubling.
But
up
it
on
also
edge rusher.
feels right. Should I take the edge rusher or should I take the 3 tech?
It's your call, man.
I would go 3 if you
Give me
went.
Braden Fisk.
There you go. He's
he
going
is.
for it.
So here's what we have now.
6'5",
Now we've got our
297.
pair and a spare. Now we've got the pair and a spare that we were talking about that we know the Bears like. We've got Montez Sweat, Jared Verse, DeMarcus Walker. That is a great 1, 2, 3. Now we've got Jervon Dexter, Braden Fisk, Zach Pickens.
Yeah.
You got
Now
three
now we're
young bucks
now we
at
are
deep
building a defensive line.
Fisk is fucking very what they're talking here. Flexible. I'm talking he's able in those interior twist stunt games, he's able to freaking contort his body.
We're disrupting the backfield is what we're doing. We are disrupting the backfield.
I like the pick. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
What says the fans? Rob Daniel wanted Fisk at 3.
All right, so we can finally get the
Harry
quarterback
Franklin
question
still
answered
has-
in Chicago.
Spencer Rattler,
is out
the
there.
guy who
Oh.
lost his job.
Let's start that
Caleb
quarterback
Williams.
room.
Let's start let's run that back. Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams.
My God. You always should take a quarterback in a draft. We're
Yeah.
just not here, please.
All right, wide receiver. Show me wide receiver.
What do we got?
Oh, Johnny
got-
Wilson.
We got
Malcolm
Johnny.
Corley.
Yeah, Corley's a very
We
interesting.
got 3 fucking Florida State kids.
Your guy Brendan
Brendan
Rice.
Rice.
Guy Brendan Rice.
Brendan Rice is an excellent player.
You want to
So
look at
that's
the
really
overall?
good.
See. Oof.
Devondre Sweat.
Oh my God, dude.
Back to back.
Could
Now we're
you
gonna
go
get nose
back to
tackle
back?
/ tech. Here's what's fun about this is that there are so many good players.
Yeah.
There are
the
so
kid from
like
Yale's
there are a
still
lot of
there.
interesting things available. But I feel like, and this
Blake
might not be the
Carter.
right pick. This might not be the right pick. But this is also just like a hilarious situation that's kind of unfolding. So I kind of want to run with it. And again, this is a little bit of a meme happening here. Let's go Seminole.
He's
Let's
going
take
Johnny
Johnny
Wilson.
Wilson. Because, okay, does Johnny Wilson have a bit of a case of the droppies? Maybe. But I have DJ Moore. I have Keenan Allen. Now, I've taken flyers on wide receivers in 2022 2022. I took a flyer on a wide receiver in 2023. Let's take another flyer on another wide receiver in 2024. Guy with unbelievable size. And let's see if he can figure it out.
Big.
We're
man.
up with our final pick.
Okay.
This is it.
Oh, you got a nice safety sitting there too, Cole Bishop. So this is the name, Alex, that I think that Bears fans right here need to. This is a guy that I think that the Bears are going to be looking at. He has everything Flus wants in a 3-tech. He's just got. He hasn't put it all together yet, and he's one of those guys that I feel like that they're going to take a chance on with one of these, later picks, just to bring him in because there's way too much there, and they feel like they can unlock. I know we're not going to go there now at this point with the way that everything is unfolded, but I'm talking about overall Leonard Taylor. That is a Matt Eberflus 3-tech all day long. 6'3".
I'll have to take a look.
Yeah,
I'll have to take a look at Mr. Leonard Taylor.
He
keeping it in the state of Florida.
He came out early, but he's very, very talented coming out of high school. I think it was like a 5-star, 4-star recruit.
Yeah.
High upside.
Love it.
But hasn't lived up to the potential that he has. So
Did I just see Cooper Beebe available?
Yes, you did.
Oh, let's see who's available at wide receiver because I don't mind double dipping, but Cooper Beebe feels like a slam dunk.
Center, you usher out Cody Whitehair and you bring in his twin. So wide receiver, Smith from A&M, Malik Washington. I don't think he gets enough love, quite honestly.
Malik Taj Washington.
I like Isaiah Williams and I like Luke McCaffrey too. I think those are all good players, all good football players.
Any other position you want to look at?
Nah, I mean, just we could do this all day. I could look at players all day. It's fun. It's great. But man, part of me is really tempted to take Taj because, okay, let's think about the Bears wide receiver room real quick. You've got DJ Moore. You've got Keenan Allen. You've got a fight for number 3 right now between Velus Jones and Tyler Scott and Colin Johnson, I want to say. Simba Webster is on our practice squad. There might be guys, I forget. Oh, Dante Pettis. Dante Pettis is involved. I think there is room to add 2 guys.
You added. Okay.
We've added Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson, who I like, by the way. So
I think he's got something you can't teach. That's size.
Yeah.
Do the Bears need more offensive line depth? Yeah, we didn't address the tackle position. They could use more interior linemen, but I think they could really use a speedster streaking down the field, who I think is more of a proven playmaker than what the Bears have on their roster. I say screw it. Give me Taj Washington.
He's going for his alma mater.
I want my guy Caleb Williams to have his USC buddy. You watched the tape. How often did you see Taj Washington popping right alongside Caleb Williams on that tape? That's one of the things that, like, when you go back and you watch Caleb Williams, I find a lot of the time it's like, wow, Taj Washington is also really good.
Yep.
Good football player.
No problem with it.
Rated. And you get the symphony of body language that these two players know each other, and that's a good thing. So we got 3 Florida State guys,
which is a little bit of a joke, kind of hilarious.
2 USC guys.
I guess I should have speeded up this. I must have hit that. I usually fly right through these.
I think you can pause and hit turbo.
Oh, can you?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, look at that.
Resume that.
Turbo that mud. I guess that ain't turbo.
Yeah, didn't turbo it.
That's okay. Did we draft offensive tackle? Did we add a new swing tackle?
No.
Did we add to our interior line depth?
No.
Yeah.
Those are maybe failures in my job as GM here.
Where do you think their confidence level is with Tevin and Nate Davis, because I mean, Tevin is fantastic when he's available. I understand it, but
I think
can they count on him?
Yeah, I think the confidence in Tevin has grown over the time. I don't know that I am like writing his name in pen for a second contract with the team.
Yeah.
And you want to talk medicals? I mean, the injury situation is a bit of a situation, right? You got to make sure that the medicals are all good. I think this is going to be a big year for him.
Yeah.
You got to see that this guy can stay on the field. And that's the same with Nate Davis.
Yep.
So I think, they addressed the interior offensive line depth to a degree. Matt Pryor is a guy who can play outside or inside, so that flexibility is good. Ryan Bates is a guy who can play center and guard. That flexibility is good. So they have addressed. Can they do more? I do think, yes, they can do more, but they have addressed it a little bit. They probably could add another tackle. We didn't do that. But I think you look at what we did do, which is add another 3-tech, add another edge, add two wide receivers that are doing different things for us. One, a huge body, and one, a speed demon who's just going to take the top off the defense. And then you also got Caleb Williams. I think we accomplished a lot of goals, even though we didn't accomplish every single goal.
Yeah, I agree. And I said one thing that I talked to Phil about today is the Montez Sweat deal. And I said, I think about that. If the draft doesn't work out exactly how they're thinking, it's going to be interesting to see what guys are going to be needing contracts and what guys could be potentially available in that same type of potential acquisition, because we have 2 second rounders next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they don't find their edge rusher in the draft. Maybe they acquire a guy like a Montez Sweat with a 2. Again, we'll see. They have options, man.
Facts, y'all. Motherfucking facts, y'all. Right there. That's what it is. He went as the GM of your Chicago Bears tonight from NBC Sports Chicago's Under Center podcast and NBC.com's beat writer for the Chicago Bears. Alex Shapiro drafted you Caleb Williams at number 1, A+. I would add another plus in there.
Easy pick.
Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. He trades down with the Vegas Raiders, who move up to 9. Bears go to 13, and they get draft Dr. Phil's favorite edge rusher in this draft, Jared Universe, right there off the edge. Then he comes back in round 2. He double dips in Florida State and gets Brandon Fisk, the powerful, never-ending motor effort defensive lineman.
It's fun to think about him and Jervon on the interior of that defensive line together.
Now you're coming in waves.
Yeah.
For a while.
Then they go back to Florida State for a 3rd time. It's a charm. And take the big wide receiver, Johnny Wilson. He's got an A++. Johnny Wilson nets him a B+. Then he goes back to his alma mater in round 4, pick 122, and takes Taj Washington.
C- for Taj?
C- for Taj.
Brutal.
C-. But still,
what does PFF know anyway?
Overall grade is an A.
I love balls.
Yes.
We'll take
Cherie loves balls. We all love the biggest balls of them all tonight. Mr. Alex Shapiro joining us. I know we kept you on for a long time. I don't want to continue, but that was so much fun breaking down this draft, talking about Caleb Williams, the general manager, the stadium. We covered it all, man.
We covered it all. And you know what? It was fun. It was a pleasure, as always, joining you guys. Doing the mock draft live in the chat, that was a fun little exercise. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Well, we enjoyed it too. We weren't that wasn't on the script. We just
No, that's right.
This is how we do it.
Wasn't on the script that we never prepare at any point, but yeah, they're always fun, man. I think it's a really good. My son is 13 years old now, and that's how he learns who's available in the draft. He starts doing these mock drafts, and I buy him all the draft guides, and he reads through it. But it's a fun exercise to see. They aren't perfect, but it's the scenarios and the content that you can bring out of these scenarios is awesome, man. It's anybody can learn a lot.
It is. You do learn a lot. And you know what? I came away with some names. Leonard Taylor.
There you go.
I got to do my homework on Leonard Taylor now.
Yep. He's got some work to do, but I can't get him out of my mind when I think about Flu seeing that guy and being like, oh, there's a shot this guy's available at 122 or maybe even 75. They pull the trigger and see a guy with those traits and be like, we can work. They did it with Jervon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He went from a 2-gap to a 1-gapper in a year. It's pretty remarkable.
He needed work. Yeah. And he made big strides. Phil will tell you that. Phil was not happy.
I gave him mad props for how he turned it. I was not happy with that pick based on what I saw of him. And true to form, you always have to give praise when it's due. And he really came on and impressed me at the end of the season. He was like a different football player than where he started. And that says a lot about their scouts and going in and doing their due diligence. That's the one thing we don't get to see, is that we can't sit down with them and get that interview. Like, I didn't know, does he desire it? And he showed it out there. I was like, he's having fun. Real quick, though, before you go, I promised my son he made something, his first ever. He's an editor. This is his first ever edit. Here we go.
Bueno, Piñu. Bueno, Piñu. Bueno, Luca. Bueno.
The slide work.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Slide work.
And you can
this is
throw his email address out there so that the haters can come after him and leave us alone.
To animate it.
He was working on. My wife said, he's like, you got to see this. The minions reacting to Caleb versus Justin.
Bravo. If that's his first ever edit,
that's his first.
He's got a future.
He's got a future. Yes, I'm proud of him. Now he'll be excited.
Chicago.com. You know, we love video content. We love good video editors. It's a wonderful place to work. Put in the work. See us. How old is he? 13?
No, he's 10. He just
10?
My son is
God.
Yeah, my son is 13. Yep.
Yes.
In a decade. You got a future. You got a future, young draft doctor.
Yes. Little Tate. That was his thing. I think it's his second. He did a Darnell Mooney's first touchdown.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney's last.
First one was fucking awful. We're just being honest. He's improved. No, I'm kidding.
It was actually good, his first.
Yeah, it was.
It was cute. He liked Darnell Mooney. So there you go.
Perfect.
But anyway, Alex, can't wait to see you again in person. And when me and Shane come to town next year, we're going to have to do it up right. I know Larison, the party part 2. They sold the house, Alex. They sold the house.
That's a shame. That was a nice house.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Shane never got to see it, but
yeah,
it was. But we're going to have a party at Larison's job overlooking the river. And he's got this nice warehouse type of vibe with, anyway.
Love it.
TTNL
LA days, warehouse parties. I love it.
It's going to be some fun on the rooftops of Chicago when TTNL party is going to go down. So anyway, you're going to be there. This time you could bring your wife. We get a babysitter.
I look forward to it, guys. Like I said, it's always a pleasure hanging out with the two of you.
So once again, Phil, Shane, thanks so much for having me.
God bless you, man. All the best. Give our best to our guy Kenneth, and talk to Schrock. We'd love to meet him finally. I love what you guys do there. If you don't follow them, I'm telling you now, TTNL approval. This is our brothers from another, even though we haven't met one of them. The Under Center podcast on NBC Sports Chicago. Check it out. Check this guy out. Follow him on all his socials at Alex Shapiro NBCS. That's S as in Sam if you're listening on the podcast. All right, Alex, have a great night. Go Bears, man. Go Caleb.
Thanks. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening as well.
See you, man. Thanks.
See you later, brother. God bless. I'll send you the mock. I'll send him the mock.
Send that over. Yeah,
His first live mock.
Yeah.
How did he do, guys? In the chat, were you happy with GM Shapiro as he embarked on his first ever mock draft live here on the tape never lie? Shout out to Ron G
putting
together this great new look for a new era in Chicago Bears football.
Just wait till the draft gets here.
Oh yeah,
Ronnie's researching neon outlines as we speak.
Recycled Ronnie. I go, Ronnie, it only takes you like 2 minutes to do this shit. Go, just do it. He's like, yeah, that didn't take 2 minutes. That didn't take 2 minutes. Grade his draft real quick. What do you, the listener, have to say? Anthony P. Anthony Pat. That's our guy, Shane. Anthony Paget. Gonna start cutting some tape for us. My guy.
You know, I think the way that you have to look at this too, Phil, is Caleb Williams, starter, Jared Verse, starter, Fisk. I think he'd
starter.
I
think he's gonna start Fisk. Yeah. So that's 3 shots. So you gotta give Shapiro some credit there. He got you 3 starters.
And you're not drafting this guy, so we're all good. I mean, look at the sticks on those. Like,
can you see Brisker coming up? He ain't hip tackling that now. He's just gonna throw his legs in there. His face. Let's get some of these super chat. Johnny Santino for the tip jar.
Nice.
Put it up there, Alex Acevedo. What are you doing? Motherfucking facts, y'all. MFFY. That's what we do here at TTNL. We got to get the Hall t-shirt. The Hallis Hall, as my guy Tony would say. D'Angelo. The Hallis Hall. Cherie is sleeping, if you wanted to know.
She's
where
eating chicken wings, she said.
The new guy brought food. Yadazaka. ES, $5. Guys, I don't know if you remember, but a couple years ago, RG3 was campaigning for the Bears to bring him. I remember this. I actually texted Cap the day they were playing that, and I'm like, Cap, you remember, this is jealousy that he didn't get signed by the Bears that time. It's ridiculous. So yes, thank you. $5. Yes, go over there. The tapeneverlies.com. We just broke down Olu Fashanu and Johnny Newton. No longer Jerzon. It's Johnny. And I think PFF has Johnny a little bit too high. Be good, Johnny.
Who the fuck is PFF anyway, Philip? Put that kid at flanker.
My father was not impressed. Spoiler alert.
He was
Harry
not.
Franklin, $20. All you Greg Gabriel supporters,
boy.
YouTube
You're
won't
gonna-
let me express myself. There's one word in front of all, and it starts with F. My TTNL brother, Scottish Bear, taking it to Gabe. Greg Gabe, MFY. Bear down for life, he says. $20. Carrie, always in the chat.
Well, he can't DM me. He blocked me, so Mr. Gabriel did.
Sludge, $5. I think Caleb was trolling the haters with the pink phone. Bear down TTNL from Alaska, Sludge.
Nice.
Listen, that phone shit is so dumb.
It's lame. Well, I saw one of the guys that I've known for years in the chat acting like a fucking clown. So
really
had to, yeah, you're friends with him on Facebook.
Who?
HD.
Oh my God. Was he?
Yeah, he was acting like a clown.
Jesus. So disappointing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, but whatever. It is
We
what it
never
is.
have talked about the tackle rule yet. But
Don't love it. I know that. That's my thoughts on it. I think it's going to create a lot of situations on Sundays that, listen, I understand the safety of the game and guys, you're trying to take the violence out of a violent game. And I don't know how you do that. And you're throwing more onto the referees to make these calls when on top of it, it's an issue without throwing more on their plate. So we know how this works out as Bears fans. It's gonna dictate a game. It's gonna change a game for us this year. We're like, oh, there's our stop. They got a punt. Here's the flag, the hip drop. So
hip drop flag.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to the Pat McCarthy McAfee show.
Yeah.
I almost fucked up his name. I appreciate that show. I like him a lot. I think he's great at what he does. And I thought he was explaining that really well, where there's kind of substance to how they're viewing it versus just throwing a flag. So if it's going to be ruled a certain way that they were describing, and if you haven't seen it, you might want to check that out after this show. And they go into a little bit of detail in regards to how they're going to officiate that, which put my mind at ease there. So Pat McAfee there. David Scott, imagine if there was footage of Sooner Caleb, the teammates doing to Caleb what ASU teammates did to Daniels when he transferred.
It would lead everything.
The clan would be going crazy.
Fuck out of here. Yeah. See,
it's terrible. His own teammate said it.
Yeah.
His own teammate said it.
Back into these supers, the cigar connoisseur, $5. Thank you, sir.
What's up, bro?
Phil with a double L. And Shane, beside the medical past issues with Michael Penix Jr., what other concerns do you guys see in his game?
First of all, thank you for your
absolutely.
donation. I love the AVI you have, but
listen, in terms of pure passing talent, he's got everything you want. He's got those huge, damn near 11-inch hands, the lefty, but I can't look beyond the 4 major surgeries, and that's medicals dictate everything to me. When you're talking about, for the Bears have lived that life. I remember, Chris Williams, when they brought him, he lasted 1 training camp practice and had to have surgery on his back, and he was out for the year. It's tough enough to make an impact as a first-round rookie anyway. And then when you throw medicals in on top of it, man, you're just, to me, you're flirting with fire. But if people haven't seen Penix, he's not going to win you any games with his feet at all. He's your I mean, can he get out and make a play? Sure, but he's your classic pocket guy that's going to sling the ball all over. I don't think that there's a throw that he cannot make. That's what type of guy he is. He's got an arm. And if you're removing the medicals from it, I like Penix more than I like Drake May. I'll just be honest. I'm not a Drake May fan, and I've made that very evident.
If you had Jaden Daniels or Penix,
if I have everything medically
clear,
he's
okay. Yes,
I like Michael Penix better.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, Yep.
I like Penix better than Daniels.
Yeah. I hear you. No, I'm right there with you. And it's 6'4", 210. You got a lot of work to do on your game, and you also have a lot of work to do on your body.
Yeah, the Dan Orlovsky stuff is just comical to me. Like, there's no way, Dan. I would love to have Dan bring his best Jaden Daniels tape to TTNL, and we bring our best Caleb tape, and let's watch the difference. It's not even in the same stratosphere. And quote me on that.
Willie Pete, $1.99.
He wanted that during the trade down.
Yeah.
So he's looking for.
But I mean, we can answer it here. I mean, Byron Murphy or Brian Thomas. So if you're talking about 9 or in a slight trade down, I mean, I'm a Brian Thomas fan, but if you're just talking overall prospects, I would have Byron Murphy ahead of Brian Thomas.
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
And I am with you. Let me ask you I've put it out there now. Brian Thomas or Ladd McCarthy? Oh,
Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. I have Thomas over him.
I don't.
Yep.
So there you go.
And I see both sides on that one. I can't push back against you on that one much at all, Phil. I really can't. But it's close. But my I have him as my wide receiver 4, and I have McConkey 5. It's close. But honestly, Phil, I have Marvin Harrison 1. I have Malik Neighbors 2, Roma Dunze 3. And you could put them. I don't have like Caleb Williams, and then you have that massive gap between the next guy.
Right.
I don't have that massive gap between Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors, and even you can throw a Dunze in there. There's a gap. It's not a huge one. There's a bigger gap once you get past a Dunze. To me, when you get, I mean, it's not a big one, but there's a decent gap for me behind those guys. I would have Thomas 4, McConkey 5.
So I have our guy
Marvin Harrison
1.
Mm-hmm.
Then a Dunze 2, Neighbors 3. Guess who's 4?
McConkey.
That's right. Ladd McConkey. 4. You know me pretty well.
There's my guy.
Steve Nageshi.
Yeah, I was on his show last night. We talked a lot of ball over, I think it was about 90 minutes. Had a great time. I know.
Where can people find that show?
I posted
it. You posted on our Patreon channel.
I did, and let me grab that right now, and I'll put that up for.
Well, shout out
in the
How
chat.
come I don't get a shout out, Steve? Come on.
We got to hit up DDP and have him on, Steve. You'd be
and the TTNL, Steve. Illinois Jones. He was peacing out, but then he came back. He says, TTNL, DDP, smartest man. I love you all too much to stay away. I know we sometimes have different views, but the bottom line is we want the best. That's what I'm talking about, Illinois Jones.
Yep.
Having a backbone. You know, the boy who takes his ball and goes home when he doesn't get what he wants? That's been a lot of Bears fans. It's been embarrassing. Good Ivan Vargas, super producer Vargas, his show, another Bears show, is going to be twice a week during the day.
Yeah.
Am I spoiler alert? Be on the lookout for that. I like Penix, like Warren Moon. That is a good comp there. Penix. I loved Warren Moon. Most underrated quarterback of all time.
There it is. The AA team podcast.
There it is.
Yeah.
Steve Nageshi.
Yeah, I loved it. Had a great time. Hey, it's always fun to talk ball.
Thank God you're not wearing the same shirt.
Oh yeah. No, I always make sure of that.
Yes. We're on television. We're putting our face to this stuff.
That's right. Our face and our name, man.
Listen, tonight was a great night. We had a lot of fun. Just
Speaking
the
of
tip.
fun, yeah.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Steph Froyland's my boy right there.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
He's going to be
Patron.
Mr. Busy Steph Froyland here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I won't break the news here publicly, but yeah, he's going to be
teasing here.
He's going to be very, very busy. Busy. Jesus, you can tell it's getting late. Very, very busy, Mr. Steph Froyland here very soon.
We're going to be breaking down Troy Fontenot, almost like Jerry Fontenot.
I think he's in play for the Bears in a trade down.
We'll be breaking him down.
Fontenot.
Is it Fontenot? Okay. Yeah. I struggle with names, Nageshi. Tell you that. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Oh, you didn't have to do that, bro. I'm just joking. But I appreciate you back with us, man. I know you left for a minute. Now I see you're back. Glad my boy was on your show. It's the best. Listen, I don't ever hate on any Bears content creator that is doing it the right way. What is the right way, you say? Talking what you know you are talking about. I always gave Greg Braggs this advice. Don't try to be a newsbreaker or an analyst. Always stay in the person that you are. I'm not a newsbreaker. I am a passionate analyst of the Chicago Bears who wears his heart on his sleeve. But my goal, like Alex said and Shane said, and he does the same thing, you have to live by that mantra, is to speak the truth. I love David Montgomery. If David Montgomery was out there fucking up, I have to criticize that. If those guys out there that can't, I'm sorry, they're not content creating, they're narrative writing. That's the difference. So here at TTNL, I'm proud of what it is we've been able to do. We've been able to accomplish the 1,000 patron mark here. We're approaching our 200th Keepin' It 100 show.
We're getting there.
And we're covering the draft and the Chicago Bears like nobody else. We create all our own music. We do everything without a billion-dollar business backing us up and any kind of advertisers telling us what we need to say. So every week, and that's not a shot at anybody, that's just the truth. So I want perspective for people.
So, man, I fucked up, but
yeah, Claudio fucked up. We got rid of him too.
No. I've been getting questions. Where's Claude? Why'd you guys get rid of Claude?
Claude is taking a
care of business.
He's got some stuff going on. We all have stuff going on. And that's how we're going to end the show tonight. One last time, Shane, during shout out, I want to just say, I said it before. I am the head coach. I'm juggling a lot in my life. This football team, this program means a lot to me now that I've dipped my heart and soul into it. We are no longer the Venom. We are going to be the Southington Wolverines. And if you can put your phone to that, it'll take you to give.thetapeneverlies.com. The cost of a helmet is immense, upwards of $300+ and you can imagine jerseys, pants, all of the equipment. We need goalposts, for God's sake. So all of this stuff matters to us, and here we are. Look at that. We went up during the show.
You went over the
$5,000
mark.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I just want to thank you all, and I want to shout you all out before we wrap, to Sam Patterson, 43 minutes ago. They give you the time. Thank you so much. Mark Alisea, Juan Montoya, 45 minutes ago. Thank you. Nathan Niznik, Jared Reyes, James Hunter. Look at Bill Wagner. My guy, 47 minutes ago. Madi Aldwin. She works with me. Look at her. She must be watching. Jumped on. Alexander Hazy.
All right, don't forget to put gas in that car tomorrow, though. We need it back by 4.
Paul Runyon. I appreciate it. Gary Katz, John Shuck, Dwight Howell, Manny. I saw Manny in the super chat tonight.
Yeah.
Manny Penna, Andrew Allison, and Courtney Mulcahy. Ryan Cox. How about that guy? Spencer Strong. Gary Logue from Scotland.
Nice.
He's doubling down. Anthony D'Angelo. Thank you so much. Joe Dwyer. Lucas Vandermeid.
Ooh, Deborah Franklin.
She
Where's
sounds
Cherie?
hot.
Cherie was in the background. She's gonna be popping up here soon.
Jack
Thank you, Miss
Turner, my
Franklin.
boy. How about Sandman? Chris Sandman. Go Wolverines. Ray Morris. Good luck to the Wolverines. Sal Sula. TTNL patron 213.
Nice.
He didn't put his name, but 213. Lenny Aponte. Dan Knutson. Knutson, you're sorry. Virginia.
McCaskey.
Wolves.
Yeah.
With Coach Eric. My guy. Ruby Perez. Adam Webb. Look at that name, Shane. David Kaplan.
Take that.
Take that. Stephen Gianfrancesco. $25. Matt Perbolte. The TTNL Network put their money there. Adam Jenkins. Gary Logue. Is that Gary Logue twice?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Jeremy Foyer. Kevin Koffhold. Jared Black, my guy. Greg Friedman. My guy, Guy Findley. New here.
He is.
Jonathan Centino. I love Johnny. Put him in a body bag, John. Sabri Dadaveski. Miguel Bullets. Breaking the news. Lopez. Right there. Anthony Gordon, our guy. He's my stat guy if Shane's not there. David Ohm. Anonymous, Shane. Anonymous. Yeah. And how about Carrie Franklin and the Franklin Group LLC? Thank you all so much. Again, every dollar you can go over there, give.thetapeneverlive.com. Read everything. It's all about togetherness here at TTNL. We are together. You guys are family. Every dollar counts for these kids, man. It's not for me. Nobody's keeping any money. This is going all to this football program. And thank you guys so much for the time. And we're going till May.
It's not through a school.
It's not a school. This is a youth program. The youth nonprofit program in our town. And without your help, I don't know where we would be. Patron number 1 from Nevada. I don't know if he's number 1. That would be Otis Nichols.
Yep.
I haven't seen Otis.
Maybe he means he's the
number 1 patron in Nevada.
Yep.
Thank you, Thomas Adams.
Brett Maley just told him to fuck off. I'm kidding. Maley would never say that. Maley's from Nevada. Maley's like, I didn't say that. I'm kidding.
Jeepers Creepers. Where is that drop?
That is in there. I saw that.
Jeepers Creepers.
There it is.
I love all.
Should have called this guy before we got.
Then let me do what I hired to do.
He's coming back, guys. He's coming back. Oh, God. Well, next week, we will have the great Courtney Cronin of ESPN and ESPN 1000 Bears beat reporter. She will be back talking Chicago Bears. And that should be another great show. If you're not a patron, go over there, thetapeneverlies.com, become a patron. You can see it right above Shane's head there. Thetapeneverlies.com. This weekend, we are going to be tackling the pass rushers on the tape and looking at Jared Verse, Latu, and Dallas Turner. Showing you the tape. Then you could decide, right, Zorich?
Hey, there you go. Yep, I like it.
Right now, Chris Zor, three body on Netflix. Have you seen that?
I have not.
The 3-body build, the 3-body something. I can't. I've tried to reach out to Carmi V, Illinois Jones, and she hasn't responded to me. And I don't want to bother Adam to correlate it, but I guess I will. If you guys can tag her in it and be like, you got to get on TTNL. You saw her in the open. We will be there doing everything we got to do. Shane, is there anything else on the agenda?
Sleep.
Gonna go to sleep.
Yeah.
Gonna go to sleep.
Gonna move my router. How to reach my daughter.
You got to put it up higher.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jim Larison as well. He has helped us. 3-body problem. Thank you. Chris Zorich read the books, Shane.
Whenever you say the Larison name.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
I love his voice. Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
We are going to talk to Courtney about the stadium and everything. Corn Planter, I saw your kind words to open the show. I see all of you guys, but I had to shout out all those people that have given anything to these TTNL family and extension as we get. And we're going to live stream these things next year, the football team. So it should be a lot of fun. Tonight was a lot of fun. Special shout out to Alex Shapiro and my guy, Shane Marsaw, the smartest man. I know Chris Jackal had a tough day, Shane. Tough day at work.
Oh, yeah.
Felt bad for the
Sounds like a golf event was happening.
No.
No, it wasn't.
He had a tough day. We're giving him a break today, right, Dad?
So you shit in your hat and get the hell off the field.
Well, does that mean we should close out the show? With
Yes. Cherie, are you up?
She is still eating chicken wings.
I'm not smart.
I love all.
Trying to hold her accountable over there, but
Try to hold her accountable, Deborah.
What
are you gonna do?
Who's there, Cherie?
Give me some fucking names. Give this.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week on The Tape Never Lies, the best Bears podcast on the planet. Let other people know. Subscribe, like, share it with everybody else, and do us all a favor and bear down. Caleb's coming. Chase greatness.
Hey,
you were hitting son.
Well, I'll hit this.
Preview.